Chapter 724. Then, let's settle this matter because I have to meet an old friend next. Xing Bowen smiled at Xing Xiao and Tang Yen. The two of them glanced at him. They did not know what he was up to, and of course, they were not interested in knowing. On the other side, Hu Ran and Gu Xiling met at the cafe again. This time, Hu Ran was much calmer than the last time they met. She drank her coffee leisurely, and there was no trace of panic in her expression. Gu Xiling observed her for a while. Suddenly, she did not know what this woman was thinking. From the looks of it, you don't seem to be angry with Xing Bowen anymore? No matter how angry I am, I shouldn't be angry at you, Hu Ran replied. Xing Bowen is heartless to you. Even I, the former second sister-in-law, can't stand it. You are the daughter of the Hu family after all. He actually found a secretary to humiliate you. If I were you, I would not be willing to accept it. Gu Xiling still insisted on sowing discord. Moreover, Hu Ran, you probably don't know that your Hu family has been in trouble recently, right? What do you mean? Hu Ran suddenly became nervous. I mean, your father really cares for you. He only reports the good news to you and not the bad news. Your Hu family is now facing a huge funding gap. This is all because of the negative consequences after Xing Bowen announced his divorce with you that day, Gu Xiling said to Hu Ran casually. After Hu Ran heard this, she stood up. Since you already know, why did you only tell me now? I have no reason to tell you. Gu Xiling shrugged. It was Xing Bowen who caused your Hu family to become like this. Hu Ran calmed down and sat back on the chair. So? What do you want me to do? I can help you take revenge, but I want to make sure that your heart completely belongs to us. Think about it. Not only did Xing Bowen dump you, but he also harmed your Hu family. How long can your father last? What you said makes sense. Hu Ran nodded and looked at the coffee cup in her hand. But I also have some questions to ask you. Gu Xiling saw that it was difficult to control Hu Ran's thoughts, so she sighed and lost her patience. Ask away. Who was it that gave you the courage to seek an alliance with me? No. I should say, who gave you the courage to think that you can use me and control me? Hu Ran played with the cup in her hand and asked. Xing Bowen has already treated you like this. Can you still tolerate it? After hearing Gu Xiling's words, Hu Ran finally laughed. Gu Xiling, aren't you being too full of yourself? Why can't you get rid of this bad habit of yours? Gu Xiling's face darkened. I know that you and Xing Kai hate the Xing family, Xing Bowen, and Xing Xiao. But you can just take revenge on them. Why are you looking for me? I know the reason. It's because you can't do anything to the Xing family, so you came to me. Xing Xiao is too smart. You can't even touch a hair of his. So, you vented your anger on Xing Bowen, right? Gu Xiling's expression could no longer be described as ugly. It was as if her reverse scale had been touched. It's not just Xing Xiao. You can't even do anything to Muqiqi. No, it should be that you've always regarded Muqiqi as your opponent, but Muqiqi has never taken you seriously. Because in her eyes, you're not qualified at all. Since ancient times, the winner has always been the king, and the loser has always been the villain. You've already lost once. If you make a comeback, you'll only lose again. Hu Ran. Gu Xiling became angry from embarrassment and scolded in a low voice. I've hit the nail on the head, haven't I? Hu Ran laughed. How about this? In order to give you a better experience of revenge, I've called someone for you. I think you two can sit down and talk face to face. There's no need for me to be the middleman and be in a dilemma. After saying that, Hu Ran glanced out of the coffee shop. Xing Bowen received a reminder and went straight into the coffee shop with Ren Yufei. He walked in front of Hu Ran and Muqiqi. When Gu Xiling saw this, she immediately knew that she had been tricked by Hu Ran. Why are you so useless? Your man has been snatched away, and now you're still throwing yourself at him. Gu Xiling, I've tolerated you for a long time. Do you know that your way of sowing discord is really annoying? This is the first time I've seen someone be so shameless after being caught red-handed. Xing Bowen interrupted in front of the two of them. Miss Gu, you don't have to worry about the matter between me and the Hu family. You should save your energy to fix your IQ. Doing this kind of thing all day is detrimental to your virtue. No wonder you can't have children in this life. You, Gu Xiling glared at the three of them, especially Hu Ran. Then, she got up from the sofa angrily. You'd better remember how your Hu family ended up in this state. Hu Ran did not respond to this woman, a woman who kept chattering in other people's ears every day. On the other hand, when Gu Xiling left, third brother said to her, second sister-in-law, if you need anything next time, come to me directly. I'll let you see my progress. Just you wait and see. Kai won't let you off. She was quite confident. Xing Bowen did not continue to respond. After Gu Xiling left, he asked Hu Ran, are you all right? Hu Ran shook her head and kept the matter of the Hu family a secret. If Gu Xiling was just spouting nonsense, wouldn't she cause a big commotion again? In the future, this woman probably won't have the face to look for you again. After all, you've embarrassed her so much today. I hope so, Hu Ren answered absent-mindedly. She was afraid that the two of them would become even worse. However, even so, she still had to go home and figure out the whole story. Third brother, I suddenly remembered that I have something else to do. Let's talk about it another day. After saying that, Hu Ran left the coffee shop and quickly drove home. Xing Bowen was very puzzled and turned to look at Ren Yufei. Ren Yufei also felt that it was very strange. Why don't you call again and ask? If she was willing to tell me, she wouldn't have left without saying a word just now. Xing Bowen was afraid that Gu Xiling would use other dirty tricks to coerce Hu Ran to be obedient with these two scumbags. Therefore, on the way back, he said to Ren Yufei, try your best to understand the Hu family situation. Okay. Ren Yufei nodded and replied. Xing Bowen was a little puzzled when he saw her agree so quickly. You aren't jealous? This is business. Why should I be jealous? Ren Yufei answered very calmly. It's good that you're not jealous. Then I'll send you supper tonight. Chapter 725. Hu Ran did not go home. Instead, she went to her father's company. When the people from the Hu family saw that it was their young miss, they did not dare to stop her. They led her directly into Papa Hu's office. Papa Hu was in a terrible situation. When he saw his daughter, he naturally relaxed and asked her, you never come to the company. What happened? Something happened to the Hu family, right? Hu Ren asked Papa Hu directly. After hearing this question, Papa Hu subconsciously turned his face away. Dad, just tell me. I'm also a member of the Hu family. Moreover, I want to know if this has anything to do with Xing Bowen. Is it because he asked for a divorce? Of course not, Papa Hu quickly explained. Who told you that? How could the blood, sweat, and tears of your father's entire life be ruined just because of your marriage? Isn't this too absurd? It's Gu Xiling. She knows that the Hu family is in trouble, so she came to bewitch me to deal with Xing Bowen. Dad, she told me that the Hu family is in this situation today because Xing Bowen publicized the news of our divorce. What a load of nonsense. Papa Hu slammed the desk angrily. I was wondering why the bank didn't approve a few transactions recently. After you reminded me, I remembered that the Gu family has such a bank manager. It turns out that the Gu family is trying to sow discord in front of you and force you to deal with the third young master. So, the Hu family was not caused by third young master, but by the Gu family. If it weren't for them, how could I be short of funds? After Hu Ran heard this, she understood what Papa Hu meant. Dad, I understand. Don't worry, I won't be bewitched by those scumbags, and I won't do anything to hurt you. Papa Hu hugged his daughter and took a deep breath. Daughter, I've been fighting in the business world for most of my life. I've seen all kinds of scenes. Do you still remember? When you were in your teens, Dad's first business failed, and we were even on the streets. At most, I'll start all over again. Papa Hu's mentality was very good and he knew his place. However, Hu Ran's heart ached for her father. She did not want to let Gu Xiling and her husband be happy. However, she couldn't bring herself to ask for help from Xingboan. Dad, no matter what, I will always be by your side. Although the father and daughter were in danger, they still relied on each other. It had been a long time since Hu Ran leaned on her father's shoulder like this. Late at night, Ren Yufei went home with the documents that she urgently needed to deal with. When she thought about how Xingboan had deliberately left her so much work, she didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Was this man just trying to find an excuse to deliver supper? Ren Yufei used some of her connections to inquire about the Hu family. Late at night, her friend sent her a text message. The Hu family was currently facing a financial problem. Soon, a bell rang in the house. Ren Yufei got up and opened the door. When she saw Xingboan entering the room with chicken soup in his hand, she glared at him and said, "You're too shameless." Xingboan put down the chicken soup and pulled Ren Yufei into his arms. "This is the only time I can hug you without any scruples and stay with you without any worries. Don't be in a hurry to hug me. Take a look at this first." Ren Yufei turned on her phone, flipped to the message, and handed it to Xingboan. "I asked someone in the secretary circle to help me find out. It said that the Hu family has recently applied for several loans and hasn't been approved. They're now facing a big financial problem. Under normal circumstances, why would a bank do this when the business is operating well?" Xingboan was a little puzzled. Unless it's a malicious competition. Someone deliberately set a trap for the Hu family. No wonder Hu Ran was absent-minded when she left today. Maybe it has something to do with this matter. Then what do you plan to do? Xingboan hugged Ren Yufei and sat down on a chair. Then, he looked into her eyes and said, "After I go back, I'll discuss it with Grandpa and see if I can help the Hu family get through this crisis first. However, I can't let Hu Ran know about this. Her pride is so strong that she definitely won't be able to accept it. Since you've decided, I'll support you," Ren Yufei said as she hugged Xingboan's neck. "You said that you weren't looking forward to my arrival. Why is everything ready at home?" The men's shoes were taken off, there were 2 sets of cutlery, and Ren Yufei's increasingly natural hug. "That's because I know that our CEO is thick-skinned. I can't help it. When I see you, I want to kiss and hug you. I've been holding it in all day." After saying that, Xingboan pinched Ren Yufei's chin and kissed her very gently. Soon, Ren Yufei felt that someone's body had become stiff and hot. Don't worry about it." Xingboan reminded Ren Yufei and then bit her lips. "I just want to kiss you. I can't do anything else." After Ren Yufei heard this, she couldn't help but laugh. "You've eaten tofu, but you haven't finished the documents you brought home yesterday. Am I that shameless?" "Not tonight." After Xingboan said that, he continued to enjoy the intimate moment between the two of them. Late at night, Xingboan carried the documents home. When old Master Xing saw this, he snorted coldly. "Who bit you? Why are you swollen after coming back for 2 days in a row?" "Grandpa, you're asking the obvious." "By the way, Grandpa, there's something serious I want to discuss with you." Xingboan thought of the Hu family. After old Master Sheng heard this, he nodded. "Since I've handed Huang Yao over to you, you have the final say. I don't want to care about Huang Yao's matters now. I just want to spend my remaining years in peace. Then I'll get the lawyer to help the Hu family tomorrow in case someone hits them when they're down. I hope that the result of your good karma will be as you wish. My birthday is only a few days away. I still want to have a happy birthday banquet. With that clever Shao Qi around, it's hard for you not to be happy." Old Master Sheng wanted to save his life now. He wanted to see if he could wait until the day that wretched girl gave birth to 8th brother's child. Right now, she was clearly still a wild girl who was unrestrained. Alright, since you and Secretary Ren have settled down now, find a time to settle the matter. Xing Bowen also wanted to, but the matter of Third Master Long suddenly flashed through his mind. Tomorrow, he was going to meet him. Xing Kai still wanted to hurt his family? Even if he agreed, eighth brother would not. Perhaps it was because someone was talking about them, so Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao sneezed at the same time. Did you catch a cold? Mu Qiqi immediately checked Xing Xiao's forehead. No, I'm fine. Why did I sneeze? I was infected by you. Xing Xiao moved her hand away. Xing Xiao did not tell Mu Qiqi that Xing Bowen was about to meet Third Master Long. This was because he guessed that Xing Kai must have already planted a trap in another inconspicuous place. Third Master Long's trap was just to attract everyone's attention. Chapter 726. Xing Kai had taken advantage of the innocent Hu family when he was in power, which made Xing Xiao look down on him. Even though Hu Ran and Gu Xiling had once been at odds with each other, Papa Hu had never made things difficult for them. But now, he wanted Papa Hu to pay the price for his daughter's past grudges. From the looks of it, Xing Kai was like a villain who would attack anyone he didn't like. Xiao Xiao, what are you thinking about? Mu Qiqi saw that Xing Xiao was suddenly silent, so she waved her hand in front of him. Are you really sick? Yes, I'm sick. Treat me now. With that, Xing Xiao carried Mu Qiqi horizontally and left the study. If Mu Qiqi knew that anything she said now would be linked to that kind of thing by this man, she would definitely avoid provoking him at night. His energy was so strong that it angered even the gods. Especially after the incident, when she was so tired that she couldn't even lift a finger, the man could still bring her to take a shower in high spirits. Mu Qiqi could only lie in the bathtub and didn't even know when she fell asleep. Xing Xiao carried the sleeping person back to the bed and covered her with the blanket. Then, he returned to the study and called Xing Bowen. Xing Bowen had just laid down and didn't expect to receive a call from eighth brother. What's wrong? Tell me everything about the leak of Huang Yao's new product. Tell me everything from the beginning to the end. Don't leave out any of the people involved. You found something new? Xing Bowen immediately got up from the bed and went to the desk to get a pen and paper. It's because there isn't. That's why I'm looking. Xing Bowen knew what Xing Zhao's brain was made of, so he didn't dare to be careless at all. He immediately began to recall and told Xing Xiao all the people and things involved. When Qiqi told me about Third Master Long, the vice president of Huang Yao and I had already collected several batches of imitations from the outside. There were a total of 5 batches, all to track down the source of the leak. Those 5 batches of imitations are all in Huang Yao? Yes. Xing Bowen was puzzled. What's wrong? Get someone to bring out these 5 batches of imitations now. I'll come over immediately. Just the 2 of us. We'll check all 5 batches of imitations, Xing Xiao said. Why would you suspect these imitations? I'm not suspecting these imitations. I just feel that Third Master Long's setting is too deliberate. If you go to Third Master Long, you will definitely become enemies with him. If Xing Kai wants to use Third Master Long to do something to you or the Xing family, it will be beyond his control. Third Master Long is not stupid, and he will not be used by Xing Kai. Xing Kai seems to be doing this to divert your attention so that you can deal with Third Master Long with all your might. So, I suspect that Xing Kai will set a trap for you elsewhere. So, we can't let go of anyone or anything that's involved. Okay, I'll call Yufei right away. Just inform her alone. Don't alert the vice presidents and the others, Xing Xiao instructed. I understand. Xing Kai had set up a trap for Third Master Long while letting Gu Xiling sow discord between him and the Hu family. He was indeed trying to divert his attention. That was why Xing Xiao was suspicious. After hanging up, Xing Xiao put on his brown trench coat and prepared to leave. However, Mu Qiqi, who had woken up and could not find him, grabbed his arm. Where are you going? I have something to do. Mu Chichi lifted the blanket and got up. I'll go with you. Xing Xiao frowned but did not object. After all, this little one was a forensic doctor. Her sense of smell and hearing were exceptionally good, so it was good to bring her along. Change your clothes. When Mu Chichi heard these words, she immediately laughed. Wait for me. I'll be done soon. Soon, the two of them drove out. However, on the way, Mu Chichi peeked at Xing Xiao's side profile many times. You know how to keep secrets in your heart now. I naturally won't tell you things that shouldn't be known by a child, Xing Xiao answered frankly. If I don't tell you, you should pretend not to know. Humph, Mu Chichi snorted. Yes, I know my limits. On the other side, Xing Bowen also drove to Ren Yufei's apartment and picked her up. The four of them entered Huang Yao's warehouse together. The 5 batches of imitations are all here, Ren Yufei said as she held the list. Ren Yufei held the list and said, I've just checked the data. It's not wrong. There are 20 pieces per unit, 100 pieces in 5 batches, and 500 pieces here. Looks like we'll be busy tonight. Xing Bowen looked at the tall box and was a little annoyed. Are you going to check these 5 batches of imitations? These 5 batches of imitations were collected from other places in order to find out the channel through which the blueprints were leaked. These imitations have nothing to do with Third Master Long, Xing Bowen explained. Xing Bowen explained, Xiao Qi, your nose is the best. Smell it and see if you can sense anything unusual. F*CKU, I'm not a dog. Mu Chichi glared at him and said, this is Xiao Zhao's personality. He will definitely check every checkpoint. Since you understand, then let's not talk so much nonsense. Let's begin. There were 4 people, and each of them had an average of 125 pieces. It would only take a few seconds to open the decorative boxes. Therefore, it did not take much effort to open the 500 imitations. Tomorrow, you still have to check all the vice presidents and the people who handled them, Xing Xiao said to Xing Bowen as he opened the boxes. Xing Xiao said to Xing Bowen as he opened the boxes, now the enemy is in the open and we are in the dark. Only by controlling every link can we not let others take advantage of it. I'll never be as meticulous as you in my life. Xing Bowen could not help but admit defeat. That's the result of years of experience. It's not innate. Xing Xiao gestured to him that it was the result of training. Xing Bowen shrugged and began his work. However, soon, most of the jewelry box was opened, but there were no clues. Fakes are fakes. The value of the crystals inside might not even be comparable to Huang Yao's packaging box. While Xing Bowen sighed, he also reminded Mu Chichi, the packaging box? What's wrong? Mu Chichi did not answer him immediately. Instead, she took out the heaviest packaging box from the jewelry that she had handled. Then, she took out the fake jewelry and the stuffing inside. Finally, she weighed it in her hand and still felt that the weight was wrong. Give me the knife. Xing Xiao quickly handed the knife to her. Mu Chichi took the knife and cut open the interlayer of the jewelry box with a beautiful gesture. This was an eye-opener for Xing Bowen. I can finally imagine what it looks like when you dissect a corpse. However, Mu Chichi could not laugh because she took out a small bag of white things from the interlayer. What is this? Mu Chichi opened it and sniffed it. Then, she said a chemical term, diacetylmorphine. Huh. Chapter 727. Xing Bowen was stunned when he heard that. How is that possible? I suddenly understand why Xing Kai wanted to set up Third Master Long. Because Third Master Long and Xing Bin have been involved with this kind of thing in the past. If you go to Third Master Long and find this thing in Huang Yao's warehouse, do you think you'll have any room to defend yourself? Xing Xiao looked at Xing Bowen sharply. Xing Bowen took the small bag from Mu Chichi, his mind buzzing. How much is this small bag? About 30 grams. Mu Chichi replied. Moreover, there were no less than 10 of these boxes just now, so there must be more. Find it first, then inform Tang Yen to call the police immediately. Xing Kai's move is not only to destroy the Xing family, but also to destroy Huang Yao. When the time comes, if I go to prison, Grandpa will definitely suffer a blow. Huang Yao will also collapse because of this. What a vicious heart. More than that. Xing Shao looked at Xing Kai with a complicated expression. He's been plotting all this while to put on this show at the old man's birthday banquet. He wants to give the old man a big gift. If such a thing happened on the old man's important day, it would be equivalent to taking the old man's life. Then what should we do now? Hand these things over to the police and replace the fillings with lime powder. No one knows what we'll find tonight. We'll beat him at his own game. Mu Chichi suddenly stood up and said, I don't believe that he won't show up that day. Xing Shao patted Mu Chichi's head and comforted her. Chi-er's idea is very good. You should still go to see Third Master Long as usual, but you can use him. Xing Kai's doing this is equivalent to dragging Third Master Long down with him. Do you think he'll agree? He's doing everything he can to clear his name. How can he let Xing Kai slander him? I understand. Since Xing Kai has given us such a big gift, of course we have to return the favor. The few of them worked together to find all the white things. Mu Chichi took a rough look. These are enough for you to stay in prison. Xing Bowen's expression changed. He hugged Ren Yufei and did not say a word. He did not expect that Xing Kai had actually exchanged souls with a demon and became so vicious. Soon, Tang Yen arrived with his team. When he saw the spectacular scene on the ground, he asked, What's going on? These are the things that Huang Yao found in the interlayer of the counterfeits. These are all of them. Huang Yao will give you the person who handled it and the surveillance footage tomorrow. This has nothing to do with Huang Yao. You have to investigate this thoroughly. Xing Shao was a veteran after all. He knew how this matter would affect Huang Yao, so he explained it to Tang Yen in advance. Even if Huang Yao cooperates, the personnel involved will still be investigated. After all, Huang Yao is not under the jurisdiction of the branch, and we are not that department. I understand. Huang Yao will cooperate at any time. However, if Captain Tang wants to know the real owner of these things, I hope that you can let me put on a show to lure the snake out of its hole. After spending some time, Xing Shao told Tang Yen the whole story. Tang Yen already knew about Xing Kai's situation, so he knew how serious it was. It's very wise to call the police when you find out, but there are many things that are out of control. I can only try my best to cooperate, Tang Yen said to Xing Shao. Third young master, please provide the list of people who handled it and the surveillance footage as soon as possible. After the police get these things, they will send people over to investigate, but I will inform you in advance. I understand, Captain Tang. Xing Bowen nodded seriously. I hope the police can find out and clear Huang Yao's name. As long as it can be proved that there is no problem with the person who handled it, and that no one else touched this batch of things before you touched it, Huang Yao will be cleared of suspicion. Xing Bowen wanted to say something else, but he was stopped by Mu Chichi. If it were someone else doing this, you would have made a big deal out of it. Be content. Xing Bowen nodded and tilted his head to Ren Yufei. Go and get the surveillance footage quietly. Don't alert anyone. Don't worry, I know the severity, Ren Yufei replied. Xing Kai had really given her a super nuclear bomb. The few of you should also make a statement with old Cheng, including you, Chi-Chi. Okay. Mu Chi-Chi nodded. No matter what, this thrilling night was finally over. However, after returning home, Xing Bowen could not sleep. He was afraid that this matter would be exposed and he would really fall into Xing Kai's trap. In the middle of the night, Xing Shao brought Mu Chichi home. On the way, the two of them did not say a word. Why aren't you saying anything? Mu Chichi looked at Xing Zhao's side profile and asked. He's making things more and more boring, Xing Shao said. There was a hint of regret in his words. That's right. After breaking the bottom line, it will only get worse in the future. But Xiao Xiao, you have to know that if this was really done by Xing Kai, if he's really so crazy, then Captain Tang will definitely make him suffer. After all, he hates evil so much. Just him? Of course, there's also you. Mu Qiqi smiled. Although in the eyes of outsiders, you're a person who is both good and evil, and it seems to make people tremble in fear when they hear your name, you never do anything that goes beyond the bottom line. At most, you teach others a lesson. It's impossible for you to do such a despicable thing. In the past, I thought that although Xing Kai was a little trash, he could barely be considered a human. But now, he's even worse than an animal. So, I'll definitely keep an eye on him like Captain Tang. I want to see how arrogant and lawless this person will be. After Xing Xiao heard the little thing's words, he deeply felt the righteousness from her. It was a person's soul. You haven't been led astray by me. Xiao Xiao, you don't know yourself, do you? Although you usually preach an eye for an eye, tonight, when you encountered something, your first reaction was to call the police instead of handling it privately. What does this mean? My man, he is actually a righteous and awe-inspiring person. Xing Xiao did not say anything else. The corners of his mouth twitched slightly. This little thing was very good at pacifying people now. She specially picked out things that you liked and could not refute. It was as if her mouth was smeared with honey. As long as we find out that this matter has nothing to do with Huang Yao, the police will change the direction of their investigation. So, our plan will remain the same. What if it's related? Xing Xiao tilted his head and said something unpleasant. Don't forget that there were 5 or 6 people who handled this matter. I'm more optimistic and luckier. It was Ren Yufei, who was still checking the surveillance footage in the warehouse in the middle of the night. Chapter 728. I don't have a good family background or a prominent status. The only thing I can do for you is these trivial things, Ren Yufei said to Xing Bowen very sincerely. Ren Yufei said to Xing Bowen very sincerely, so, you don't have to feel burdened because I'm willing to do this. Xing Bowen gently stroked Ren Yufei's black hair and nodded, touched. With you here, I believe that Huang Yao will be fine. Go and rest for a while. You still have to deal with the Hu Corporation tomorrow. Ren Yufei pushed Xing Bowen to the sofa. I'll call you when I'm ready. I'll just take a short nap. Call me in 10 minutes and I'll take your place. Got it. Ren Yufei agreed verbally, but she did not have such a plan in her heart. However, Xing Bowen also knew that she would have such thoughts, so he specially set the alarm clock. The two of them, together with the security guard in charge of the surveillance, spent most of the night and finally delivered all the information the police wanted to Tang Yan. In addition to the surveillance footage, there was also the information of the person who handled it. Other than this, President Sheng has to get the relevant people involved to cooperate with the investigation as soon as possible, including your vice president. This way, we can eliminate the suspicion of Huang Yao as soon as possible, Tang Yan instructed Ren Yufei. We understand all of this. I hope that Captain Tang can do his best to help us. Don't be so nervous. Tang Yan seemed to be comforting Ren Yufei verbally. The police will not wrongly accuse any good person. Ren Yufei nodded. She seemed to be a little exhausted. Tang Yan seemed to have seen through her and reminded her, go back and rest. You've worked hard this night. However, Ren Yufei could rest, but Xing Bowen could not at the moment. In order to avoid the panic of Huang Yao's shareholders, he planned to use his own name to help the Hu Corporation and lend money to Papa Hu. In the morning, Ren Yufei was ordered to go back to rest, so the person beside Xing Bowen was Ren Yufei's new secretary. President Hu is now at the bank. It seems that he wants to fight for the last chance, but his situation is not very good. Someone saw that he almost knelt down to the president of the bank. In other words, Gu Xiling and Li Rulan were freaks through and through. They specialized in torturing others for fun. Even if it was an innocent person like Papa Hu, they would not let him off. Real estate and banks were closely linked, and the most frightening thing was that the funds would be tied up. One ring after another, and if they could not be connected, they might go bankrupt overnight. Which bank? Send the address to the driver immediately. I'll go over now, Xingboan said as he walked. Call my private lawyer and ask them to come with me immediately. Got it, President. The news secretary quickly nodded. She took out the important notes that Ren Yufei had given her and contacted Xingboan's lawyer. Just as Xingboan thought, Gu Xiling was a freak. Knowing that they did not have the ability to deal with Xing Xiao now, they started attacking the people around them. Hu Ran didn't know how to appreciate favors. Of course, her father had to take the punishment for his daughter. Gu Xiling believed that everyone should understand such a simple logic. Therefore, seeing that Papa Hu had no way to turn to for help, she was extremely happy. Wasn't Hu Ran very arrogant? She wanted to see how Hu Ran could be arrogant now that she was no longer the daughter of a rich family. Papa Hu had indeed asked the bank for help. After all, they had worked together for many years. However, no matter how strong their friendship was, it could not compare to the suppression of power. Moreover, he was friends with the former president. Therefore, Papa Hu could only leave the bank. But just as he walked out of the bank, Xingboan's car arrived at the bank's entrance. When Papa Hu saw this, he could not help but be puzzled. Third young master, what are you, uncle? I'm here to look for you, Xingboan said directly. Coincidentally, I'm also using this bank. I want to use my private assets to help the Hu Corporation through this crisis. So, you don't have to leave. I might have to trouble you to come back to the bank with me again. After Papa Hu heard this, he was shocked. Third young master, I know that the Hu Corporation is in trouble, so I must help it. After all, the Xing family is the one who caused the trouble. The Xing family feels guilty, Xingboan explained sincerely. Xingboan explained sincerely. I also treat Xiao Ran as a family member, so you can't refuse. Papa Hu felt like he was dreaming. That was because he had never thought of seeking help from the Xing family. After all, he had seen all kinds of storms over the years. He was already prepared to start from scratch. However, when he heard that Xingboan was going to help him through this difficult time, he almost burst into tears. Who else could be like Xingboan at this critical juncture, offering a helping hand in a time of need? Just like that, Xingboan brought his lawyer and Papa Hu back to the office of the bank president. I don't need your bank's approval to help a friend with my private assets, do I, President Gu? The other party's expression was ugly, but he had nothing to say. I remember that a few months ago, the president of your bank wasn't surnamed Gu. I didn't expect you to be promoted so quickly. I wonder what kind of expert taught you. Xingboan was very reserved. In fact, his meaning was simple and clear, and it was quite sarcastic. No one had thought that Xingboan would interfere in this matter. The Hu family was already on the verge of being forced into a corner. They did not expect Xingboan to be so generous. Third young master, I don't know how to repay you for helping me like this. I'll just treat it as you buying shares. After that, the lawyer will calculate the proportion of shares for you, uncle. I don't have any other meaning in doing this. I just want the Hu Corporation to tide over this crisis. I don't need to hold shares. You can just give me an IOU. I won't charge interest. I've taken too much advantage of you. Papa Hu felt very apologetic. Speaking of which, you're all innocent people. After saying this, Xingboan left with his team. That made Papa Hu feel deeply that the third young master of the Xing family was truly loyal and true. Moreover, he did not make any requests. Hu Ran had caused so much trouble previously, but he did not take the opportunity to threaten her to leave Jianchuan. He had already done his best. After leaving the bank, Papa Hu called Hu Ran. Because he really did not expect Xingboan to be such a timely help. Daughter, I owe third young master a favor. Hu Ran also did not expect that in the end, it would be this loyal man who helped the Hu family. Dad, don't worry. I won't cause trouble for third brother anymore. He's really just my brother. Moreover, I'll enter the Hu Corporation and help you pay off the money you owe as soon as possible. Most importantly, she had to lay low. She would remember Gu Ziling's hatred today. There was still a long way to go. As for Gu Ziling, she was halfway through her joy when she suddenly received news that the Hu family had been saved by Xingboan. Her expression immediately changed. Chapter 729. However, it was still too early to say whether he could protect himself or not. According to the previous plan, Xingboan was going to look for Third Master Long in the afternoon to ask for an explanation. This was also to cooperate with Xing Kai's plan to use him. However, Third Master Long was not an ordinary person. If Xingboan fell into it, he did not know what he would face. Therefore, Xing Xiao would definitely be a backup. However, Xing Xiao did not tell Mu Qiqi about this. Xingboan did not intend to take Ren Yufei into danger. Of course, Tang Yan was not idle either. After Ren Yufei woke up, she secretly cooperated with Tang Yan to retrieve all kinds of information and check the relevant personnel. After careful verification by Old Sheng and the others, they found that after the 5 batches of imitations entered Huang Yao's warehouse, there were no traces of anyone touching them. This meant that before entering Huang Yao's warehouse, the batch of things had been in the middle of the imitations. The most important thing now was to confirm that there was no problem with the person who handled it. Only then could Huang Yao be completely cleared of suspicion. Because of this matter, Xingboan left Ren Yufei in the company. He brought his lawyer and personally drove to Third Master Long's territory. Of course, Xing Xiao was also on the way with Su Che, ready to support Xingboan at any time. As for the women at home, because they were still in school, there was no need to hide anything. At 3:00 in the afternoon, Xingboan appeared at Third Master Long's manor. This also meant that he had fallen into Xing Kai's trap. The butler informed Third Master Long, who was wearing loose training clothes and making tea in the yard. This kid has some courage. He actually dared to come to my door. At that moment, Qingbin was in Third Master Long's courtyard. After hearing Third Master Long's words, he sneered. How would those businessmen know how powerful you are? They think that they can do whatever they want just because they have some stinky money. They dare to come anywhere. It's fine. In the end, I'm the one who did something wrong. I'm the one who should feel guilty. Since I want to meet a guest, you can leave for now, Third Master Long said to Qingbin leisurely as he stroked his beard. Then I'll leave first. Qingbin stood up and quickly left through the side door of the courtyard. At that moment, the butler brought Xingboan to Third Master Long's garden. What a rare guest. My small courtyard can actually welcome such a distinguished guest. What a miracle. Third Master Long immediately went forward to greet him. Xingboan saw 2 teacups in front of him and knew that someone had just left. He smiled and said, Third Master Long's reputation is not just for show. Please have a seat. I wonder what brings Chief Xing here today. They're here for the leaked blueprints of Huang Yao. Xingboan went straight to the point. I want to know from Third Master Long who sold you the blueprint. President Sheng, what big words. What evidence do you have to prove that this belongs to Huang Yao? Third Master Long was not angry, but he looked very stern. The sketch in my hand is the evidence. Xingboan said, Third Master Long, you and I both know how you got your design blueprint. I don't think I need to explain it to you, do I? After all, I have 3 lawyers with me. When Third Master Long saw the lawyer behind Xingbo's tattoo, he smiled. Where does CEO Xing think this is? Such shameless boasting. Are you really not afraid of me? Third Master Long, I'm a businessman. What businessmen value is money. According to the law, you're infringing on copyright. I should have dealt with this matter a long time ago, but I've been too busy and haven't had the time. Today, I'm here to ask for an explanation from you. You've wantonly copied our things with fake and inferior products and caused us a lot of losses. As the CEO of Huang Yao, I should have given an explanation to my employees and consumers. So, I'm sorry, but if you don't intend to deal with this matter properly, I can only call the police. We'll go to court. After Third Master Long heard this, he frowned at Xingbowen. In the end, he couldn't help but laugh. Young man, I advise you not to be too arrogant. I'm not being arrogant. I'm being reasonable. Xingbowen did look like a businessman. He did not take Third Master Long's previous identity and background seriously at all. But in fact, this was Xingbowen and Xing Zhao's strategy. Xingbowen was in charge of pretending to be stupid and acting like a boorish man. Then, Xing Zhao would talk about what happened to Xing Kai. This way, Xingbowen would not be suspected. Therefore, Xingbowen's words were provoking Third Master Long. As a pure businessman, he insisted that he would sue Third Master Long for copyright infringement. Third Master Long, to tell you the truth, my legal team is not to be trifled with. After Third Master Long heard this, he immediately gestured to the bodyguards behind him. However, the bodyguards were so agile that no one could see them clearly. A few lawyers had already fallen to the ground and were unconscious. All of them were knocked unconscious. Is this your team of lawyers who are not to be trifled with? Third Master Long sneered. Young man, don't go overboard. If we meet again in the future, I'll let go of this stupid thing you did today. But if you continue to pester me endlessly, then I have a carnivorous fellow under the pond. If I throw you down, not even your bones will be left. Do you believe me? I don't believe you because I only believe in the law. Moreover, so many people know that I came to your manor. If I disappear just like that, how are you going to explain it to the police? You don't have to worry about that. Third Master Long smiled cunningly. If you want to try, then I'll fulfill your wish now. I don't believe you. Third Master Long saw that Xingbowen did not know what was good for him, so he gestured to the bodyguards. Throw him down. However, before the bodyguards could move, the butler came to report again. President Xing from Zhongting is also here. That's a legendary figure. He's probably here to fish this stupid thing out. Third Master Long smiled. Let him in. The more stupid Xingbowen appeared, the more Third Master Long felt that Xing Zhao was extremely smart from his appearance. Soon, Xing Zhao brought Su Che into Third Master Long's manor. When he saw this, he said to Third Master Long, this third brother of mine usually doesn't use his brain. It's really worrying. This is going to be lively. Two CEO Shengs. Third Master Long made a welcoming gesture. This brother of mine has an average IQ, but he's daring. I hope that Third Master Long will show mercy and let him leave. Xing Zhao looked at Xingbowen and said to Third Master Long, of course, none of the things you're worried about will happen. With Xing Zhao's guarantee, Third Master Long thought for a moment and said to the bodyguards, send the third young master of the Xing family away. Eighth brother, who asked you to make the decision? You're no longer the CEO of Huang Yao. Xingbowen deliberately ignored Xing Zhao's kindness. Third Master Long is giving me face. Don't push your luck. Su Che, take him away, Xing Zhao instructed Su Che. Chapter 730. In terms of boldness in the Xing family, you're the former crown prince. After leaving Huang Yao and establishing the huge Zhongting, the new generation is really pushing the old one forward. However, even if you come personally, I won't be afraid. What kind of person was Third Master Long? All these years in Jianchuan, he had never been a person who suffered losses. In the past, he could even clean up so many dirty things, let alone these drawings of Huang Yao. If it were in the past, I would definitely fight to the death with Third Master Long if I knew that something like this had happened to Huang Yao. I could probably think of hundreds of different ways to deal with it. Xing Zhao said as he sat down in front of Third Master Long, however, we're all people with families now. It's not appropriate for me to act like a young boy. So, other than fishing people out today, I just want to talk to you about something else. Xing Zhao's eyes were not as simple as Xing Bowen's. He could see through his thoughts at a glance. Xing Zhao's eyes were complicated and ever-changing, but he was calm. Third Master Long knew very well how many people had fallen into his hands. So, he smiled and nodded. I, Long, have never been afraid of anyone in Jianchuan for so many years. However, I can't see through you. Tell me, I'd like to hear what else you can tell me besides Huang Yao. I want to ask, Third Master Long, why did you want to cooperate with the traitor of the Xing family? Xing Shao went straight to the point. The loss of the drawings can be a big or small matter. It's not that it can't be solved. However, in the entire Jianchuan, no one else dares to take on Huang Yao, but Third Master Long did. Why? Your brother just said that I'm just a businessman. Since I'm a businessman, of course, I only need to pay attention to business opportunities. I believe that this is the reason why Third Master Long and Xing Kai are working together. However, I feel that this is very inconsistent with Third Master Long's identity. What kind of person are you? How could you not know that Xing Kai wants to take revenge on the Xing family? Since it's revenge, he will definitely set countless traps for the Xing family to jump into. As one of them, do you think you can escape unscathed? After Third Master Long heard this, he fell into deep thought. Then, he replied, I'm afraid not, right? I'm just producing my stuff. How is it related to the grudges of other people's families? If Third Master Long thinks that way, then don't blame me for not reminding you when the police target you in the future. It seems that Chief Xing is implying something. I'm willing to listen. Xing Kai betrayed the Xing family, and Third Master Long spent money to buy a business opportunity. This seems understandable, but Third Master Long, do you know that when we were investigating the other counterfeits last night, we found diacetylmorphine in the packaging boxes of those batches? I believe that Third Master Long knows better than me what this is, right? Third Master Long's expression changed when he heard the chemical term. In other words, Xing Kai didn't just sell the blueprint to you. He also sold it to someone else. He also asked the small merchant to put this dangerous thing in the box. Once someone finds out and reports it, Huang Yao will be investigated. Then, Third Master Long, who was involved in this before, met my third brother today. Wouldn't the police have a reason to suspect you first? After listening to Xing Zhao's analysis, Third Master Long's expression could no longer be described as colorful. Even so, Third Master Long, do you think it doesn't matter? Third Master Long was so angry that he slammed his palm on the rosewood table. No one has ever dared to scheme against me. Where are these things right now? Third Master Long, don't worry. You're innocent. Huang Yao is naturally not a place to hide dirty things. Of course, these things have to be handed over to the police, Xing Xiao explained. Originally, we had already exposed this matter and could have settled it privately. However, I feel that Third Master Long should have the right to know. Third Master Long took a sip of tea. His expression was very gloomy. After a long while, he asked Xing Xiao, you want to rope me in? People of different paths can't work together. It's just that when we punish the mastermind, I hope that Third Master Long won't be the one standing in the way. After Third Master Long heard this, he put down his teacup heavily and even spilled the tea on the table. Since you've already thought of a countermeasure, I'll just watch the show. Don't worry, there's a perpetrator for every debt. When you're done, let me know. I'll also go and seek justice. The old man had been all-powerful for his entire life. In the end, he had been tricked by a brat. Third Master Long could not take this lying down. However, he also wanted to verify whether Xing Zhao's words were true or not. Soon, Qingbin came out from behind the rockery after Xing Xiao left. Of course, he did not know that Xing Xiao and Tang Yan had a cooperative relationship. He simply hated the Xing family. These rich families are always looking for trouble. Didn't you go in for money? Third Master Long rolled his eyes at him. Don't be in a hurry to take revenge. Stay by my side and work. I'll find a chance for you. Got it. Qingbin knew that Tang Yan's current status was not something he could easily shake. He needed a detailed plan and a backer. Now, I want to see how the Xing family will fight this battle. Why did Xing Shao want to deal with Third Master Long? Just as he said, it was so that there would be no resistance when dealing with Xing Kai. If Third Master Long did not know about these things in advance, once the police were involved, Third Master Long might make some false moves to protect himself. Therefore, he needed to make an agreement in advance. One was a noob, and the other was a big shot. They worked well together. However, Mu Qiqi only found out that Xing Shao had gone to meet Third Master Long that night. You knew about the relationship between Third Master Long and Qingbin. Why did you go by yourself? Third brother and Su Che both went. Xing Shao took off his coat as he answered Mu Qiqi. It's just a meeting, not a fight. You don't have to be so paranoid. Nonsense. Third brother said that his 3 lawyers were all knocked unconscious. Mu Qiqi chased after Xing Shao and kept nagging. Can't you tell me about this in advance? After I found out, I was still scared. No. Only officials are allowed to set fires, and ordinary people are not allowed to light lamps. I have to report to you whenever I go to a dangerous place, but what about you? After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, Xing Shao wanted to slap Xing Bowen to death. If I wasn't confident, I wouldn't have gone rashly. Xing Shao hugged the angry little thing from behind and comforted her in a low voice. I also cherish my life. If anything happens to me, who will spoil your lawlessness for the rest of your life? Xing Shao said as he pulled the little ear. So, I also cherish my life. Do you understand? Chapter 731. Isn't it because you're too infatuated with me? Xing Shao turned her body around and pinched her chin. Mu Qiqi broke free from his hand and suddenly hugged him tightly. Although I know you're confident, I still feel scared when I think about it. How can a normal family tolerate their husband coming into contact with those dark and dirty things? Mu Qiqi shook his hand off. Don't forget your identity. You're a forensic doctor. Xing Shao was a little helpless against her fragile heart. It's precisely because I'm a forensic doctor that I know very well that the dirtiest thing in this world is the human heart. Mu Qiqi emphasized. The more I see, the more I know that humans are scarier than ghosts. Xing Shao did not say anything else. He had no right to speak on this matter and could not convince Mu Qiqi. After all, Mu Qiqi was the one who had been in and out of murder scenes countless times. The two of them hugged quietly for a while. After a long while, Mu Qiqi poked her head out again and asked, So, has everything been settled? Now, I'm looking at Tang Yan's investigation. Other than that, I still have a question in my heart, but I have to wait for the results from Tang Yan's side. Mu Qiqi did not ask further. Anyway, she was only thinking about waiting for the day of the old man's birthday. She also wanted to know how Xing Kai would open the gorgeous and exciting prelude. The diacetylmorphine had already been replaced with lime powder. When the time came, he would probably be happy for nothing. Late that night, Tang Yan received the results of the investigation. There were no problems with the 5 batches of imitations. In other words, Huang Yao's suspicions could be completely cleared. They had accidentally brought this thing into Huang Yao's warehouse. Xing Bowen called Xing Shao to tell him the good news. The plan could proceed smoothly. However, Xing Zhao's expression became extremely gloomy. If there's no problem with all the people who handled it, then there must be Xing Kai's people in Huang Yao, Xing Shao said. Xing Shao said. Think about it. Who will discover and reveal this secret on the old man's birthday? However, you don't have to be in a hurry to look for it. On the day of the incident, whoever calls the police is the mole. That's true, Xing Bowen replied. Xing Bowen replied, although there's no need to deliberately investigate, I can still keep an eye on it just in case. Up to you. Eighth brother, what's with your attitude? You know the reason. Xing Xiao hung up the phone without giving Xing Bowen a chance to speak again. Xing Bowen hung up the phone in confusion. When he thought about it, he realized that he might have been too talkative and told Muchichi something he shouldn't have. The little thing was going to pester eighth brother and cause trouble. Just thinking about that scene was very interesting. But it did not matter. That way, the old man's birthday would not only be a gift from that little one Muchichi. There would be even more exciting segments. Some people would definitely pay the price for what they had done. This time, Xing Kai had indeed spent a lot of effort to set up a trap to lure these fish into the trap. However, what he should not have done was to allow Gu Xiling to cause trouble for Hu Ran. Otherwise, Xing Xiao would not have been able to trace the matter of the counterfeit goods one by one. Gu Xiling had always been a proud woman. She thought that if she did not tell Hu Ran what she was going to do, she would not reveal Xing Kai's plan. However, her attitude had already explained everything. People who were overly conceited often thought themselves to be clever. Late at night, at Gu Xiling's grandfather's house. Grandpa Xing sat at the dining table and looked at Xing Kai, who was eating quietly. He asked calmly, Grandpa Xing's birthday is coming soon. Have you not prepared your birthday gift yet? It's ready, Xing Kai replied. Well, do well with your godfather. In the future, it won't be difficult for you to fight against Zhongteng, let alone the Xing family. Thank you for your help, Grandpa. Xing Kai stood up and bowed to thank him. I'm not doing this for you. It's for my granddaughter. You must remember this. After saying that, Grandpa Xing stood up from the dining table. I'll wait for your good news. I trust you very much now. Gu Xiling could not help hugging Xing Kai after returning to her room. I have high hopes for you. I won't let you down. Xing Kai was full of confidence in this matter. He had done a lot of distractions. He thought that this matter would be foolproof. But he did not know that Gu Xiling was his biggest flaw. Xing Kai wanted to use Grandpa Xing's birthday gift to reappear in the public eye. But, unfortunately, Kai, after this matter is over, let me deal with the little secretary by Xing Bowen's side, Gu Xiling said to Xing Kai before she took off her clothes and entered the bathroom. Why? She used to be your person, but in the end, she became Xing Bowen's lackey. Of course, I have to teach her a good lesson. Otherwise, how can I calm the anger in my heart? Gu Xiling snorted coldly. We've been looked down upon by so many people and laid low for so long. I don't believe that the Xing family will be safe this time. Of course I promised you, Xing Kai replied to his wife. How can a woman from a lowly background enter a rich family? The two of them were probably carried away by the impending victory. They were actually thinking of taking revenge on those who had bullied them after the matter was over. However, Xing Xiao would not give them this chance. He, Xing Kai, would never be Xing Zhao's enemy. The next day, there were 3 days left until Grandpa Xing's birthday. Xing Xiao would occasionally ask Muchichi if she had prepared the old man's birthday present. However, Muchichi would always block him with a few words. There are things that you don't know. I won't tell you. Muchichi snorted. You're even more anxious than me when it comes to the task you assigned yourself, right? What do you mean by embarrassing me? I won't embarrass myself. After saying this, Muchichi got into the car and went to Xingting for class. From the moment she received this task, she had racked her brains and looked for the teachers in Xingting's industrial department. It was not easy for her to find a way to make such a thing. If the old man dared to dislike it, if he dared to say no, then she would never give him a second gift in her life. Of course, she had already prepared the gift. She had even left it somewhere else to maintain the sense of mystery. No one would know what she had made, especially Xiao Xiao, that pig trotter. This time, Xing Xiao really did not know what she was pretending to be. After saying this, Xing Bowen picked Ren Yufei up and walked to her bedroom. You want to, after kissing while sitting, I want to kiss while lying down. After saying that, Xingboan had already placed Ren Yufei on the soft bed. However, his kiss did not carry any lust. There was only seriousness and pity. Why did eighth brother insist on Chi-Chi? In the past, he didn't understand, but now, he understood that some people were irreplaceable. These 3 nights were the calm before the storm, right? That night was also the day that Feng Shanshan and Tang Yen moved into their new house. In fact, the two of them didn't have many things, especially Feng Shanshan. After all, she didn't live in any place for long. After the two of them put away their luggage, they sat on the sofa and enjoyed this moment of peace. Feng Shanshan looked at the man in the dark and couldn't help but smile. Are we considered to be in the upper class? We're actually so close to the mayor and Mu Chi-Chi. You like the upper class life? That was in the past. Now, you're my life. After saying that, Feng Shanshan pounced on Tang Yen. The two of them were about to have a scene on the sofa, but the doorbell rang at this time. Feng Shanshan looked at Tang Yen. Feng Shanshan was a little helpless. If I had known, I wouldn't have informed Mu Chi-Chi. I'm going to take a shower. You guys talk. After saying that, Tang Yen got up and returned to the bedroom. Feng Shanshan jumped off the sofa helplessly and got up to open the door. She saw Mu Chi-Chi holding a bottle of red wine, congratulating the two of them on moving into their new house. You're too stingy. Do you know how much this bottle of wine is worth? I took it out from the wine cellar at home. Mu Chi-Chi quickly explained. Have a drink? I'm taking things too hard. I want to drink with you. It's not fun. I'm in class now, and I don't go to the forensics laboratory. The time we spend together has been greatly reduced. If you don't want to drink with me, I'll go back. Come in. The two women didn't let the man accompany them. They wrapped themselves in blankets and sat in the courtyard. Each of them had a glass of wine and drank arrogantly. What's your plan now? Are you giving up on being a forensic doctor? Feng Shanshan curled up in the chair and smiled. Tang Yen has already contacted the relevant teachers. I'm going to study by myself. He's quite good to you. But when I first came in, I saw that your ears and neck were red. Now, the hickeys are all out. The two of you were. Mu Chi-Chi's eyes wandered over Feng Shanshan's body. Did I disturb the two of you? You just realized. Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. At the mention of this, Mu Chi-Chi couldn't help but gossip. To tell you the truth, how's Captain Tang's kung fu? He's definitely not worse than your CEO Sheng. Feng Shanshan raised an eyebrow at Mu Chi-Chi. You want to compare yourself to me in this kind of thing? Of course, an enemy is a lifetime. After Feng Shanshan said that, she laughed. Mu Chi-Chi also laughed. The two women finished Xing Zhao's entire bottle of Lafite in the courtyard. Mu Chi-Chi couldn't drink to begin with. Now that they were in the courtyard, she completely lost control. Tang Yen had no choice but to call Xing Zhao. CEO Sheng, I might have to trouble you to bring your woman back. It was only a 5-minute walk from the Banyan courtyard. After taking a shower, Xing Zhao was wearing a black sweater and a brown coat. He looked like a foreign gentleman. But his expression, when he saw Mu Chi-Chi lying on the table in Tang Yan's house, his eyes were about to spit fire. He picked up the little thing and strode out of Tang Yan's house. Chapter 733. Did you steal my Lafite to drink? Xing Zhao snorted. Mu Chi-Chi shook her head and leaned against Xing Zhao's neck. Other than preparing a gift for Grandpa, I also prepared something for you. Who told you to say it now? Xing Zhao hugged her, but he slowed down because he felt that after drinking, she would not be able to hide any secrets in her stomach. If he walked slower, he could ask her a lot of questions. But I won't tell you what it is. Don't say it. If you dare say it now, I'll strangle you to death. If she said it out loud, there would be no surprise. Mu Qiqi giggled foolishly and fell asleep in Xing Zhao's arms. Xing Zhao had wanted to ask more, but he couldn't bring himself to do so. After carrying her home, he washed her in the bathtub, put her on the bed, and fell asleep with her in his arms. However, the same situation did not work on Feng Shanshan's side. Feng Shanshan deliberately pretended to sleep, but Tang Yen ignored her the whole time. This made Feng Shanshan very angry. Lying on the bed, she could not pretend anymore. Mu Qiqi will definitely be taken care of in every possible way when she goes home, but what about me? Are you just going to leave me alone? After Tang Yen finished showering, there were still water droplets sliding down his muscles. He only said, "I know you won't get drunk after 1,000 drinks." Feng Shanshan was speechless. Boring man, have you never had sex after drinking? Tang Yen turned around and looked at Feng Shanshan, who reeked of alcohol. I didn't drink, but I don't mind being crazier than I was. Then what are you waiting for? Feng Shanshan took the initiative to pull the towel around his waist. Tang Yen had been investigating Qing Bin for a few days, but Qing Bin looked like a good citizen. It seemed like he had no intention of taking revenge. However, he was secretly contacting Third Master Long. From this, Tang Yen guessed that Qing Bin wanted Third Master Long to be his backer. However, Qing Bin would not take revenge on him in the short term because Third Master Long would not give people a chance for nothing. He had to let Qing Bin achieve something under him. Therefore, he did not plan to waste any more time on Qing Bin. The Special Investigations team still needed him to go back and lead the team. But now, what he needed to find out the most was who had gotten the goods from that batch of things that had appeared in Huangyao. 2 days later, the Xing family's birthday banquet would be held. Everyone knew that Grandpa Sheng had undergone surgery and was hospitalized. Perhaps it was to make the old man happy. Xing Bowen had been preparing since a month ago. He wanted to make the old man happy. 2 days before the old man's birthday banquet, Xing Bowen had already gotten someone to check the guest list and the security personnel. Of course, due to some special reasons, Xing Bowen had to communicate with the security personnel beforehand so that the show would not be delayed. Xing Bowen acted as if he did not know about the things in Huang Yao's warehouse. He continued to check whatever he wanted, which made Xing Kai let his guard down, thinking that he was already in the middle of a whirlpool. Since they were going to put on a big show, of course, he would do his best to cooperate, but at the moment, they had no way of knowing who the mole that eighth brother was talking about was. The night before old Master Xing's birthday banquet, Xing Kai was still confirming whether Xing Bowen had found the things in Huang Yao's warehouse. After confirming that Xing Bowen did not know, he contacted the mole. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, call the police. I guarantee that the police will catch them on the spot. Keep in touch. I've already set up a channel for you. I understand. I will definitely live up to your expectations, the mole replied on the phone. Xing Kai hung up the phone and felt even more excited and nervous. It was tomorrow. It was tomorrow. After such a long period of humiliation and torture, he would be able to take revenge tomorrow. Of course, he would also go to the old man's birthday banquet tomorrow. He wanted to see for himself what kind of expressions the old man and Xing Bowen would have. It would definitely be exciting. The next morning, the Xing family was extremely lively. Old Master Sheng woke up early in the morning. He was in high spirits and his face was glowing. The blessings and gifts from his children and grandchildren were also delivered to him one after another. Although there were all kinds of novelties, none of the gifts were truly delivered to his heart. As for Xing Bowen, he had promised to bring Secretary Ren over, so it could be considered that he was filial. However, Ren Yufei was not someone Xing Bowen could casually brush off. She also seriously prepared a birthday gift for old Master Sheng. She used all kinds of sleeping herbs to make a healthy pillow for the old man. The doctor said that these herbs have a very good effect on the recovery of the brain. I hope you won't mind, Chairman. Old Master Sheng took the gift and pointed at Xing Bowen. Look, you're not as sensible as little Ren. Tonight, I'll use the pillow. Xing Boan smiled proudly because he did not expect Ren Yufei to be so attentive. Therefore, in private, he lowered his head and whispered into Ren Yufei's ear. Why didn't you tell me? You've been racking your brains for the past few days. I didn't want to distract you, so I made the decision on my own, Ren Yufei explained. Yufei, you've done well. Now, everyone was stretching their necks, waiting to see the gift from Muchichi. We're almost out. Why aren't eighth brother and Chi-Chi here yet? Old Master Xing asked. Chi-Chi must still be having a headache about what to give. After all, it was eighth brother's order. Xing Boan laughed. Now that he had Ren Yufei's filial pillow, it would be even more difficult to surpass Muchichi. Is the old man that hard to please? Wasn't he in the past? The old man was stunned when he heard this, but he also laughed. I'm in a good mood today. I won't argue with you. It was at this moment that Xing Xiao and Muchichi entered the Xing family's hall. Su Che followed behind Muchichi with a big box in his arms. Why are you so late? Xing Boan quickly went up to them and asked Muchichi. I accompanied her to get something, so. Xing Zhao's gaze fell on the box covered with a black cloth. He really didn't know what this thing was up to. You don't know what she's going to give? Xing Xiao shook his head. It's such a big thing. I'm afraid it won't reach the old man's heart. Xing Boan sighed. The box was big and heavy, so it was definitely not practical. Chi-Chi, what's in that box? Old Master Xing pointed at the box on Su Che's shoulder and asked Muchichi, what are you up to? A gift for you. Muchichi turned around and gestured for Su Che to put it down. Stop keeping me in suspense. What exactly is it? Take it out and let me see. We're about to go to the banquet venue. Old Master Sheng was also anxious. Let me say this first. If you don't like it, I won't give you any more gifts. Muchichi walked in front of Su Che and personally placed the box in front of the old man. You're weird. Open it. Muchichi removed the black cloth and revealed an ordinary wooden box. It looked ordinary, so of course, it was not something precious. However, when Muchichi opened the lid of the box, Old Master Sheng's eyes widened. Chapter 734. Everyone craned their necks to look. They wanted to know what was inside the black box that could make the old man show such an indescribable expression. Xiao Qi, what did you take out to scare Grandpa like this? With that, Xing Boan was about to move forward, but he was stopped by the old man. Wait. The others looked at the old man in confusion. Wasn't it just a gift? Did he have to be so mysterious? Old Xing squatted down and took out the gift that everyone was curious about from the box. It was a fine wooden walking stick. When everyone saw it, they immediately sighed. TSK, I thought it was something amazing. Xiao Qi, you're fooling this old man too much. Xing Boan also laughed. Muchichi smiled but did not say anything. She just turned her head and glanced at Xing Xiao. Xing Xiao pulled the little one in front of him and rubbed her head hard. Everyone thought that it was just a walking stick. However, no one noticed that the old man's expression when he received the walking stick was that tears almost seeped out of the corner of his eyes. He stroked the walking stick up and down, carefully observing the lines on it. The more he looked, the more he loved it. Grandpa? Xing Boan called out to the old man. Do you like it or not? This walking stick is made of rare gloomy wood. The carvings on it are exactly the same as my old one. But do you know why I can't bear to throw away the old one? Your grandmother bought it for me when she was still alive. I've used it for so many years that the carvings on it have all been smoothed out by me. Now that I have this new one, I can properly treasure the one your grandmother bought for me. After hearing the old man's words, everyone suddenly understood why the old man's expression was not very happy, but complicated. Girl, how did you know? I don't know. I just saw that you have always used this walking stick. It's been a few years, but you still insist on using it, so I guessed. For someone as powerful as you to use an old object for so long, it shows how important it is, Muchichi replied. The carvings on it are based on my memory. I searched for them on the internet, and then I carved them according to them. Are you praising me or belittling me? Also, did you carve this yourself? When I bought it, it was just a piece of wood. I even went to school to find a lot of teachers and students who studied industrial design. Otherwise, do you think I could still buy an antique with the same carving? Muchichi rolled her eyes. Old man, are you satisfied? Old Master Shing held his walking stick and tried it on the ground. He looked happy. It's really good and comfortable. Sure enough, eighth brother didn't dote on you for nothing. Xingboan gave Muchichi a thumbs up. On the other hand, Muchichi couldn't be bothered with him at all. Instead, she asked Xing Shao for credit. I did it. What reward will you give me? Didn't you prepare a gift for me? Xing Shao raised his eyebrows and exposed the secret that someone had revealed when she was drunk. How did you know? Muchichi was puzzled. Who told you? You'll only know the answer when you see the gift, Xing Shao whispered into her ear. Could it be that these things that she had prepared were discovered by this man again? That shouldn't be the case. This time, she was so secretive, unless this man could read minds. When old Master Shing received such a gift, Muchichi had hit the nail on the head. Fortunately, he did not break them up back then. Otherwise, he would not have known that this girl was actually such a clever thing. No wonder eighth brother loved her so much. Third brother, quick, help me put the thing that your grandmother gave me in this box. I want to hang it in my bedroom. Xingboan smiled and helped old Master Shing put away the badly worn walking stick. Then, he asked the new butler to put it in his room. Old Master Sheng was happy. Then, the group of people drove their respective cars to the birthday banquet venue. Although sixth brother was still not used to Muchichi, he had to admit that Muchichi was like a spirit beast that eighth brother had raised. She did not have any other abilities, but her ability to read minds was top-notch. Even the descendants of the old man who had been by his side all year round did not know what was on his mind. However, Muchichi could actually see through it and come up with such a thoughtful gift. Just based on this, he had to admit defeat. When old Master Shing received other gifts, he only took a glance and asked the butler to put them in his room. Only this walking stick was in his hand. After getting into the car, his eyes never left the walking stick. Soon, the Shing family arrived at the Di Shing Hotel where the birthday banquet was held. The guests also went to the hotel garden to celebrate old Master Shing's birthday. However, no one expected that there would be a wonderful show that was about to be staged in addition to old Master Shing's birthday banquet. At 9:30 a.m., Xing Kai also brought Gu Xiling, who was dressed up, to Di Sheng. On such an important day, old Master Sheng should not be so heartless as to be happy. After all, there was still a grandson suffering outside. He wanted old Master Sheng to remember this no matter where and when. After getting into the car, Gu Xiling could not help but turn to her husband and ask, "Can you guarantee that nothing will go wrong? We've been waiting for this day for too long. We can't afford to make any mistakes. You have to know that grandfather has high hopes for you. If you can't even deal with the old man of the Shing family and Xingboan, then godfather's trust in you will definitely be greatly reduced. I'm more nervous about this plan than you are, so you don't have to worry," Xing Kai answered as he drove. Although it was the day of revenge, Gu Xiling could not help but be nervous. Because she really wanted to see the Xing family suffer a crushing defeat. "I believe you." Xing Kai nodded. He had spent so much effort and used so many clues just to prevent Xing Shao from seeing through his plan. However, it turned out that he had overestimated Xing Shao. Xing Shao did not pay attention to this at all. In that case, the scene later would only be more exciting. It was already 10:00 in the morning. Xingboan looked at the time on his watch and then looked for Xing Shao in the crowd. So far, there was no movement from Xing Kai's side. Why are you in such a hurry? Muchichi glared at him with champagne in her hand. Look at you. You're even more excited than Shinkai. Shinkai hasn't made a move yet. I'm afraid he'll do something else. Shingboan was worried about this. You finally know to prepare for a rainy day. Muchichi smiled. The reason why Xingxiao was because he would try his best to imagine everything that would happen and stop it. No one could do it as flawlessly as him. Chapter 735. They waited for 2 hours, but there was still no sign of Shinkai. It seemed that he did not intend to participate in the competition. Puzzled, Shingboan arranged for the guests to enter the banquet hall one after another. Lunch was about to begin soon, and at that time, the Shin family came with gifts to celebrate. Ever since Grandpa Shin retired, he had been living in seclusion. But today, for the sake of his old friend, he finally abandoned his pond and dressed up to attend Grandpa Shin's birthday banquet. The two old men met and started chatting again. They talked about everything under the sun, and their smiles were full of wrinkles. The old man is smiling very happily now. I wonder if he can bear it later. Muchichi frowned as she watched the old man and her grandfather chat. She could not help but sigh. Instead of thinking too much, it's better to deal with it properly. Xingxiao hugged her and brought her around to greet the guests. Let's not wait for now. The luncheon is about to start. Let's all go in. Shingboan hugged Ren Yufei and said to the two of them. The guests entered the banquet hall one after another. The atmosphere was harmonious and warm. Although the birthday banquet was a big event, Shingboan only invited friends who made the old man happy. Those who had conflicts with him were all excluded. After all, the most important thing was to make the old man happy. Everyone took their seats in the luxurious banquet hall. The MC on the stage was about to let old Xing step forward to express his thoughts. At this time, many of the people present had begun to receive news that something had happened to Huang Yao. After all, they were all well-known figures in the business world. Everyone had always paid attention to the developments in the industry. Some had received accurate information, while others only knew that many police officers had arrived at Huang Yao's warehouse. And judging from the Xing family's current state of mind, it was clear that they had not received any news at all. The host was so enthusiastic, and it was the old master's birthday, so they didn't want to remind him of this kind of thing, and they didn't know how to open their mouths. Hey, have you guys heard? We found that thing in Huang Yao's warehouse. I also received the news. What's going on? Huang Yao is also involved in this business? I have friends in the police, and they've already dispatched the police. It's definitely true. It's just that the current situation is very awkward. We don't know what to say. In the banquet hall, 2 or 3 people began to whisper to each other. Finally, Shingboan received a call. The police have arrived. The identity of the mole has been confirmed. Those guys are under the control of the police. I believe it will only take 10 minutes for the police to arrive. I understand. When Shingboan received the call, he did not panic. Instead, he felt more at ease. Because this meant that Shinkai's plan had not changed. It was the same as before. Then, Shingboan stood up and said to Xingxiao and Muchichi, the show is about to begin. Having said that, he walked towards old Sheng and whispered in his ear, something happened in Huang Yao. I'll go and deal with it now. Grandfather, 8th brother is here. You don't have to worry about anything. After the old man heard this, he was stunned for a moment. He turned his head and asked, what is it? Why do you need to leave now? It's under control. It's not a big deal. Don't worry. After saying that, Shingboan was about to leave. After all, he had to put on a good show. When everyone saw him get up and leave, they knew that he must have known that Huang Yao was being investigated by the police. Of course, he had to rush back to deal with it immediately. Old Shing's expression was a little worried. In fact, it was not that he was unaware. He vaguely knew that on his birthday, there would definitely be people with bad intentions. However, he did not expect that they would find third brother. Old Sheng continued to stay in the main seat. According to the segment, he would go up and say a few words. However, just as the MC handed the microphone to Old Sheng, the door of the banquet hall was suddenly pushed open. Then, the police who had received the tip-off walked up the red carpet and entered the banquet hall. Sorry to disturb your birthday celebration, old man. However, we would like to ask, who is in charge of Huang Yao? Come out immediately. I am. Sheng Bowen had already walked to the side door. He retreated and faced the police. Today is my grandfather's birthday. I wonder if someone reported that a large amount of diacetyl morphine had appeared in Huang Yao's warehouse. The police received the news and immediately went to investigate. Indeed, they found something similar in the warehouse, so we need you to return to the police station with us to cooperate with the investigation. What is diacetyl morphine? Sheng Bowen asked despite knowing the answer. It's powder. It's something that causes hallucinations. The police used body language to explain. Officer, I'm afraid you've misunderstood. How could there be such things in Huang Yao's warehouse? We're all honest businessmen. Whether it's true or not, you can come back with us to investigate first. 4 police officers, 2 in plain clothes and 2 in police uniforms. When old Master Sheng saw this, he got up from his table and walked in front of them. His voice trembled slightly. Officer, are you mistaken? Our Huang Yao only makes the sound of diamonds and jewelry. We don't have any descendants to touch those things. Sir, whether it's true or not, we have to verify it before we know. If you didn't do it, the police will naturally prove your innocence. Grandpa, it's fine. I'll go with them. Sheng Bowen comforted the old man. Today is your birthday. Be happy. I promise you that nothing will happen to me. Old Master Sheng did not say anything. He leaned on his walking stick with a gloomy expression. Sir, please make things convenient for us. The police officers were also in a difficult position. When Mu Chichi saw this, she quickly went forward and said to the old man, Third brother promised you that nothing will happen to you. At the very least, your favorite 8th brother is sitting there motionlessly. If you need anything, look for him. Old Master Sheng looked in Xing Zhao's direction. Seeing that he was really indifferent, he took a deep breath. Then, he subconsciously took 2 steps back so that the police could bring him in. However, Xing Kai seized this opportunity in time to walk straight into the banquet hall through the door. He even pretended to be late. It looks like I'm late and missed some wonderful show. Xing Kai brought Gu Xiling with him. He held the gift in his hand and walked to the old man with a smile on his face. Grandpa, I'm here to celebrate your birthday. When the old man saw this, he knew what was going on. He directly said to Xing Kai coldly, If you want to hate someone, hate me alone. Don't vent your anger on third brother. Grandpa, what are you talking about? Xing Kai gestured to Gu Xiling and handed the gift to old Master Sheng. However, old Master Sheng directly threw the box away. Don't think that I don't know that what happened today was planned by you. Chapter 736. Grandpa Sheng's chest kept heaving as if he was trying hard to adjust his emotions. Mr. Sheng, let's go. The police urged Sheng Bowen, reminding him not to waste any more time. Sheng Bowen did not say anything else. He had nothing to say to someone like Xing Kai. He only said to Grandpa Sheng, Grandpa, don't be angry. It's your birthday today. Don't forget that 8th brother is still here. If something really happened to me, he wouldn't be so calm. Trust me and 8th brother. Don't let those people take advantage of us. I'll be back soon. Grandpa Sheng did not look at Xing Kai's direction. He only said to Sheng Bowen, I won't let anything happen to my grandson. To Xing Kai, this was a slap in the face. In the past, Grandpa Sheng loved eighth brother. Now, he doted on third brother. But, he never really cared about second brother. Xing Kai watched coldly as Xing Bowen was taken away. Then, he pulled Gu Xiling and squatted down to pick up the gift that Grandpa Sheng had thrown away. Then, he handed it back to Grandpa Sheng. Grandpa, it's such a good day today. Why are you angry? Grandpa Sheng leaned on his walking stick. His eyes were sharp and vicious. If anything happens to third brother, I won't let you go even if I die. Xing Kai sneered. Then, he threw away the gift and said to Grandpa Sheng, third brother, eighth brother, even sixth brother and seventh brother have been doted on by you. But what about me? Who cares about me? If something happens to third brother, it's his own fault. He did something illegal and implicated Huang Yao. How can you blame it on me indiscriminately? Just because I was kicked out by you? Look at you. You dote on eighth brother, but he doesn't want you. You dote on third brother, but he did such a disgraceful thing. What's the use of you? Grandpa Sheng was so agitated that his face turned red. Mu Chi-Chi immediately shielded him behind her. Grandpa Sheng did not know where this little girl got her courage and strength from. She was so small, but she came to protect an old thing like him. Looking at eighth brother, he still did not say a word. It was as if he did not care about this at all. Grandpa, go sit next to Xiao Xiao. Watch the show. Go. Old Xing did not understand, and was pushed to Xing Xiao by Mu Chi-Chi. Meanwhile, Mu Chi-Chi faced them confidently, even crossing her arms and lifting a brow. I'm guessing you've been waiting outside for a long time, haven't you? When he saw the police come in, he quickly followed behind them. Is this a good show? Mu Chi-Chi, why are you everywhere? Gu Xiling said mockingly. How is it our responsibility when the Xing family has a scandal? Today, we came to celebrate Grandpa's birthday with good intentions. You're being kind? If you were really kind-hearted, you wouldn't have tried to sow discord between the Hu family and the Xing family a few days ago. Gu Xiling, seeing Hu Ran going out of control, you must be very angry and upset, right? You. Gu Xiling was at a loss for words. I know. Xing Kai is here to give Grandpa a gift. Since he has already given it to him, you can leave now. Mu Chi-Chi pointed at the hotel entrance. Forgive me for not seeing you off. Seeing this, Xing Kai could not help but laugh. Mu Chi-Chi, you probably don't know what mistake Xing Bowen has made this time, do you? The news has already spread like wildfire. Are you still in the mood to celebrate your birthday here? Do you know how long the diacetyl morphine found in Huang Yao's warehouse will be enough for him to stay in prison? You're still boasting shamelessly. Let me tell you, even if Xing Xiao comes forward, he can't be saved. Not only that, but the Xing family can't be saved either. When old Xing heard this, he was about to get excited again, but Xing Xiao stopped him. Look at the old man's face. How anxious he is. This is retribution for giving power to third brother and chasing me out of the family. Mu Chi-Chi could not help but laugh out loud when she heard Xing Kai's emotional sigh. She really found it funny. What are you laughing at? Xing Kai asked Mu Chi-Chi. Do you think the Xing family can escape this time? Why can't they escape? Ha! Mu Chi-Chi laughed so hard that her stomach hurt. Please, even if we all know that you planned all of this, please cover it up a little. Otherwise, the ones who will be embarrassed in the end will be you. I really thought that you would be able to put on a good show after so long. I didn't expect, you're still so retarded. If you don't believe me, look for yourself. Mu Chi-Chi gestured for Xing Kai to look at the door of the banquet hall. Xing Kai was about to speak, but he saw Xing Bowen, who had just been brought out by the police, walk back as if nothing had happened. That's right, he returned to the birthday banquet venue in front of everyone. Xing Kai was surprised, but he saw Xing Bowen return to old Master Xing's side and whisper to him, Grandpa, I told you that everything is fine. Aren't I back now? Is it really fine? That's impossible. Xing Kai pointed at Xing Bowen. You're so sure of yourself. You won't be able to escape, and you're still saying that you didn't plan this? Mu Qiqi snorted coldly. It's impossible for him to escape. Why was he released again? Let me tell you the answer. Because a few days ago, we found out that there was a problem with a batch of counterfeit packaging boxes in Huang Yao's warehouse. A large amount of diacetylmorphine was put in the interlayer of the packaging box. What should we do? Someone framed us. We had no choice. Huang Yao immediately called the police and let the police investigate. These things have nothing to do with Huang Yao. The police are wise and powerful. They quickly proved Huang Yao's innocence. But who is it that wants to frame Huang Yao? We have to continue investigating. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Xing Kai couldn't believe it. He thought that Mu Qiqi had been fabricating it. Fool, do you think everyone knows about diacetylmorphine? Your mole saw that it was something like white powder and hurriedly went to call the police. However, it was just lime powder that we had changed. The police verified that it wasn't diacetylmorphine, so of course they had to let him go. Xing Kai's expression changed when he heard this. You're the stupidest. You wanted to enjoy the old man's anxious expression when the police arrested third brother. Your stupidest part was that you let Gu Xiling look for who ran and used her to deal with third brother. Isn't that a blatant lie? If you don't have the intelligence, don't come out and do stupid things. Just now, your expressions were as smug as they were stupid. After hearing Mu Qiqi's words, Xing Kai was very concerned at first. However, after thinking about it, he calmed down. Is that so? But I don't understand a single word you said. Chapter 737. I did so much for Huang Yao, but what happened? If Xing Bowen really did that kind of despicable thing, wouldn't you be angry if you were him? Mu Qiqi shook her head and almost choked Xing Kai. I'm not angry. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. Anyway, we already know who your mole is. Most importantly, you haven't forgotten who you sold the blueprints to, right? You want to use Third Master Long, but have you forgotten who he is? Xing Kai, if I were you, I would be very troubled right now. Because the police have already suspected that you are the owner of that batch of diacetylmorphine from your plan. Do you think they will focus their investigation on you after investigating Huang Yao? You have no evidence. I don't have any evidence, but the mole does. Mu Qiqi approached Xing Kai and said, who are you showing off your intelligence in front of? Friend, there are so many seniors here, and so many outstanding talents. What makes you think that your plan can deceive everyone and everyone? Do you see the man across from you? Regarding today's matter, he doesn't even want to look at you. Do you know why? Because it's too low level. He can't be bothered to waste his energy. Mu Qiqi pointed at Xing Shao. Xing Kai looked up at Xing Shao. As expected, Xing Shao was calm throughout the whole process. There was no trace of panic at all. The shame and anger in his heart rushed to his head. Dear guests, I'm really sorry for dirtying your eyes today. There was a small conflict with the Xing family, but everything has been resolved. I hope you won't take it to heart. What's the point of watching a good show with the hotel service? I'm serving the dishes. After apologizing to the guests, Mu Qiqi turned to look at Xing Kai. Aren't you leaving? Do you want to stay here and be laughed at by others? Or do you want to stay here and watch everyone eat? Let me tell you, there is no place for you here. Not now, not in the future. At that moment, Xing Kai wanted nothing more than to find a hole to hide in. He had come to enjoy Grandpa Xing's painful expression and Xing Bowen's regretful tears. However, he did not get to see anything. Instead, he was played by this family from beginning to end. It turned out that it wasn't that Xing Shao didn't notice. He just kept quiet and lured him into taking the bait. Still not leaving? Grandfather and I have lost all face because of you. Gu Xiling ran out of the banquet hall without a care for her image. She was so stupid to believe that Xing Kai had the ability to defeat the Xing family again and again. She had laid low for so long and schemed for so long, but the Xing family treated it as a joke. Whenever Gu Xiling recalled Mu Qiqi's words and expression just now, she wanted to die of shame and anger. Why could Mu Qiqi be with Xing Shao while she married such a disappointing husband? Xing Kai had no choice but to leave Grandpa Xing's birthday party. What made him feel the most ashamed and resentful was that no one cared about his departure. No one even looked at him. It was as if he was just a clown who came to perform a comedy. Most importantly, Mu Qiqi had made this matter clear. Even if others did not have any evidence, Third Master Long and the police would treat him as a target. This was like trying to steal a chicken only to end up losing the rice used to lure it. Xing Kai left the banquet hall, but Gu Xiling had already driven away. She did not take her husband seriously at all. He was already living under someone else's roof. After being humiliated by Gu Xiling like this, he felt even more subservient. Wherever he went, he would be ostracized. However, he could only endure it. Old Master Xing's birthday banquet continued with a climax. The guests also received the news one after another. The matter with Huang Yao was a complete misunderstanding. The thing found in Huang Yao's warehouse was just ordinary lime powder. It was not diacetyl morphine at all. At this moment, Xing Bowen and Xing Shao were sitting on either side of the old man. The rest of the Xing family were also in a calm mood. The old man sighed. "You knew about this a long time ago. Why didn't you say anything? If you had known earlier, you would have definitely been worried about my ability. Although I'm not like eighth brother who can strategize everything, I know how to ask for help. I also know how to unite and cooperate. Instead of making you worry all the time, it's better to let you worry for a while. This can be considered a precious gift from your descendants," Xing Bowen explained to the old man with a smile. "These two little girls know about it too?" The old man pointed at Mu Qiqi and Ren Yufei and asked Xing Bowen. "Of course. The thing in the box was discovered by Shao Qi. People who study forensics are indeed different. Anything can attract her attention," Xing Bowen said. Xing Bowen raised his glass and clinked it with Mu Qiqi's. "Your performance just now was wonderful." "Really? I can perform better next time." Old Master Xing laughed when he heard that. This girl was born to fight. She was good at all kinds of fights. She was invincible in the world and had never lost a battle until now. It was no wonder that eighth brother did not even bother to move his butt from the beginning to the end. It was because he knew very well that everything was under their control. "I'm afraid I'll never forget today's birthday. I thought I was going to lose my life here today." Xing Bowen did not expect the old man to care about him so much. "Grandfather, as your grandson, this is the first time I've felt your worry." "Humph," Old Master Xing snorted. Xing Kai's plan failed. There will definitely be a follow-up. He can't make such a big plan alone. Although eighth brother saw through it, he will definitely do it again. No matter what he wants to do or who he wants to deal with, eighth brother and I will definitely work together to stop him. He won't succeed, Xing Bowen said confidently. "Don't forget that you still have a weird granddaughter-in-law. She's not to be trifled with." No matter what, today was a thrilling day for the old man. "Is Huang Yao really fine? Has everything been dealt with?" "Don't worry. When we found this thing, eighth brother immediately called the police. The police dealt with it quickly and cleared Huang Yao of suspicion. But there's a problem now. We don't know how many Xing Kai spies are in Huang Yao. The person who reported the case to the police is Xing Kai's spy." Now, Xing Bowen was even more guarded against the employees of Huang Yao. "I think it was this mole who paved the way for Xing Kai to come to Huang Yao to steal the blueprints." Chapter 738. When Mu Qiqi returned to her seat, Xing Shao tilted his head and looked at her. "Are you happy today?" Why do you say that? Mu Chichi was surprised. Don't I know you well enough? Isn't this what you like the most? Xing Zhao's eyes were handsome. When he lowered his head with his back to the light, he gave off a strong sense of oppression. Mu Chichi could not stand it. Don't say it if you know I like it, Mu Chichi said softly. Where's my present? Mu Chichi reached out her hand and pinched Xing Zhao's thigh under the table. It's not the time for you to ask for a present, Xing Zhao smiled calmly. He did not chase away the little hand that was harassing his thigh. Instead, he continued chatting with Grandpa Shen. The lunch continued. The guests said that it was worth it to come today. They had watched a good show. It also made them believe that the future Huang Yao would be more brilliant than when Grandpa Sheng was managing it. On the other hand, Gu Xiling selfishly drove away, leaving Xing Kai to take a taxi home. He knew that he had disappointed Gu Xiling's family today. But now, he had to rely on Gu Xiling to make a comeback. So, even if he was shameless, he still returned to Gu Xiling's house. But the current situation was that even the servants in the house did not bother to look at him. Gu Xiling even sat on the sofa and complained to her mother. Mom, I feel that I have a hard life. Why did I marry such a man? These words were harsh enough to the ears of others. But Xing Kai could still bear it. Xiling, you've embarrassed the whole family. You'd better wait for Grandpa to come back and make a decision. Anyway, I'm very disappointed in you now. Gu Xiling got up from the sofa and stormed back to the bedroom. Mama Gu glanced at Xing Kai and shook her head helplessly. I really don't know why I agreed to marry Xiling to you. Xing Kai said nothing and went to the garden alone with his tail between his legs. He knew that there was no place for him in this family. But he had nowhere else to go. He had planned this very well. Even Mu Chichi had said that if Gu Xiling had not gone to look for Hu Ran, Xing Xiao would not have found out. But in the end, Gu Xiling had pushed all the blame to him. If he was not living under someone else's roof, he would have kicked a woman like Gu Xiling far away. Why was he the only one living in such a sorry state among the Xing family? He was not convinced. After a whole day of excitement, Grandpa Xing just wanted a moment of peace. So, after sending all the guests away, he said to Xing Bowen and the others, you guys go too. Go and date. Let me fish with old Shen. Xing Bowen knew that he was annoyed by the noise for the whole day. He smiled and said, then we're really leaving. You can go home with old Shen. Old Kai, let's go. The old man held his forehead in annoyance. He didn't want to suffer like this again during his birthday. Sheng said. Kai, Sheng and Xing Xiao Sheng, Xing Chichi. Sheng not. No, I want to go home. With that, Xing Xiao dragged Mu Chichi into the car. Why? Xing Bowen was confused. In the end, he could only say to Ren Yufei, since you're ignoring us, we can only go watch a movie by ourselves. Do you want to watch it? Anything is fine. Ren Yufei touched her arm and smiled. Besides, you don't really want to drink with Chi-Chi. Have I been seen through? Xing Bowen laughed heartily and pulled Ren Yufei into his arms. He whispered in her ear, I just want to pretend to be crazy and take advantage of you. Ren Yufei's face turned red, but she did not push Xing Bowen away. She enjoyed the ambiguity and sweetness of being in a relationship. She also longed to kiss this man. Let's go watch a movie. Mu Chichi sat in the car and watched the two of them hugging each other on the road. She was extremely envious, so she turned to look at her man and said, it's been a long time since we hugged each other like that. We're indeed an old couple. Are there no more passion? Someone did not say anything. He just closed his eyes and took a nap. A married man starts to pay attention to his image and starts to dislike his wife. Xing Xiao was still indifferent. However, just as Mu Chichi was about to continue nagging, Xing Xiao suddenly pressed her against the back of the seat and forcefully sealed her thin lips. Once Mu Chichi was about to speak, Xing Xiao would directly bite her lower lip, making it impossible for her to speak. The two of them kissed all the way. When they reached home, Mu Qiqi's lips were already swollen. No one could look at them. In order not to be discovered by Mama Sheng, Mu Qiqi ran straight back to the bedroom. This made Mama Sheng and Xing Xiao ask Xing Xiao in confusion, "What's wrong with Xiao Qi?" "It's nothing. I'm in a hurry to go to the bathroom. Your father and I didn't go today. It seems like we missed a good show. Second brother is really surprising." Xing Xiao said a few words to Mama Sheng and quickly returned to the bedroom. However, his expression did not show that he was in a hurry at all. Mu Qiqi buried herself in the quilt. She planned to ignore this man for the whole night because her lips were really painful. A married woman has completely forgotten how willing she was when she had a crush on him. "If it were in the past, you wouldn't be angry no matter how I kissed you." Xing Xiao sat on the edge of the bed and deliberately said that in a vengeful manner. Mu Qiqi snorted coldly under the quilt. Xing Xiao shook his head and did not say anything else. He took his bathrobe and went to the bathroom. Mu Qiqi heard that there was no response from outside for a long time. She poked her head out and found that the damn man had actually gone to take a shower by himself. Mu Qiqi took the opportunity to look at her school bag. Then, she took out a small, exquisite box. When Xing Xiao was not paying attention, she sneaked into the study and put the box on Xing Xiao's desk. The cufflinks she gave Xing Xiao were treated like a treasure by this man. In the end, it was because she had given this man too little. This thing was also carved by herself. Although it was not as exquisite as the ones sold outside, it was all her sincerity. After quietly putting away the things, she returned to the bed as if nothing had happened. After the man came out of the bathroom, she went in to take a shower. Because this man had a habit of staying in the study for a while every day. Today was no exception. Xing Xiao followed his habit. He wrapped himself in a black bathrobe and entered the study. However, his gaze was instantly attracted by the small wooden box on the table. Just like the big box he gave the old man during the day, it looked inconspicuous from the outside. Xing Xiao smiled faintly. It seemed that he would have to get this little one to drink more in the future. Chapter 739. Xing Xiao walked to the desk and gently picked up the box. He opened it and saw 3 neat rows of wooden bookmarks. Each bookmark was carved into various decorative patterns. Considering his identity, this little thing must have spent a lot of effort to restrain itself from carving flowers and trees. Instead, it carved these textured patterns. It was probably because most of the books in the study had their legs broken by him. That was why this little thing thought of making such a set. In his hand, it was as thin as a cicada's wing. But it was so thin. The possibility of it breaking was very high, wasn't it? Xing Xiao thought about it and called Su Che. "Come over early tomorrow. There's something I need you to take care of." The great chief Sheng was going to preserve this thing and then seal it. At the very least, he had to be able to take out the things the little thing gave him until he died. Because of Mu Qiqi's gifts, Xing Xiao spent a little more time in the study. He carefully took out each of them and studied them before putting them away. At first, he was very disdainful when old Master Sheng got his walking stick and couldn't let it go. But now? Then, he returned to the bedroom as if nothing had happened. He saw that Mu Qiqi was already lying on the bed with her back facing him. Xing Xiao lay down and forced Mu Qiqi to turn over. "What?" Mu Qiqi asked in annoyance. "I received the gift," Xing Xiao said calmly as he hugged her. "Humph," Mu Qiqi snorted. If she had known that she would be kissed swollen, she wouldn't have prepared any gift for him. "Take revenge however you want." "I won't fight back," Xing Xiao promised in her ear. "Really?" Mu Qiqi looked up in disbelief. But when she thought about it, this person was obviously pleased by the gift. That was why he was so generous. "I'll owe you for today." I'll settle the score with you later. But my lips really hurt tonight. They're burning. Xing Xiao lowered his head and hooked her chin to take a look. It was true. So, he immediately got out of bed and applied some anti-inflammatory medicine. If you say something heartless again in the future, I'll teach you a lesson again. After Mu Qiqi heard this, she immediately turned her back to him. Xing Xiao hugged her from behind and comforted her softly. Isn't it enough for you to throw a tantrum all the way here? I can't do anything to you. At night, Grandpa Gu went out and returned home. When he saw Gu Xiling and her daughter sitting on the sofa with a gloomy expression, he knew what they were doing. When I get home, I see your faces. Are you trying to make me feel bad? Grandfather, what happened in the Xing family today? Gu Xiling immediately wanted to explain, unwilling to lose her grandfather's love for Xing Kai. But she was interrupted by Grandpa Gu. Where's Xing Kai? Grandpa Gu asked. Why don't I see him? He's been in the garden all day. He doesn't have the face to come in. Gu Xiling's eyes were red as she answered sorrowfully. Bastard, no matter what, he is still your husband. How can you lock your own husband outside the door? Grandpa Gu reprimanded Gu Xiling. A man's dignity shouldn't be trampled on like this. You'll only make him more depressed. But you saw what happened today, grandfather. He definitely doesn't have the ability or the means to fight the Xing family. What hope do I have? Gu Xiling cried. You know that I like capable men. I just want the strongest husband. You have to be clear. You're already married. Your husband can be a coward, but you can't marry me again. Grandfather. Go and call him in, Grandpa Gu ordered sternly. Gu Xiling wiped her tears and walked toward the garden unwillingly. A moment later, Xing Kai entered the living room. When he saw Grandpa Gu, he didn't have enough confidence. He felt that he hadn't met Grandpa Gu's expectations. If you didn't do well, that's a man's problem. You shouldn't be stepped on by a woman. Xing Kai, although my granddaughter is mine, if you can't even deal with her, how are you going to deal with the Xing family? That's impossible. I want to hear the reason for the failure of the plan now. Tell me the main reason. Xing Kai had been thinking in the garden for an entire day. In addition, the humiliation that Gu Xiling had given him today was really unbearable. Therefore, he was ready to fight to the death. In the previous plan, there was only Third Master Long and a spy. The things had been successfully sent to Huang Yao, and no one had discovered them. However, Xiling said that she wanted to deal with Hu Ran and asked me to arrange a spy to let Hu Ran and the Xing family kill each other. It was precisely because she exposed too much in front of Hu Ran that the plan was discovered by Xing Xiao. When Gu Xiling heard Xing Kai's explanation, she pointed at him and shouted, "Are you shameless? You heard it too." Even at the scene today, Mu Qiqi said the same thing. You shouldn't have joined the plan at all, and you shouldn't have tried to use and humiliate Hu Ran for your own selfish desires. Isn't taking revenge on the Xing family your selfish desires? Gu Xiling laughed. Let me tell you, Xing Kai. Without me, you're nothing. It's even more impossible for you to have these opportunities to take revenge on the Xing family. When Grandpa Gu heard this, he reached out to stop Gu Xiling. Xiling, go back to your room. Grandpa. The problem is you. Don't you realize your mistake at all? Woman, don't be so domineering. If you're domineering, how can Kai grow up? Gu Xiling looked at her grandfather in disbelief. She really didn't expect her grandfather to stand on the side of an outsider. I'll go, I'll go. Gu Xiling ran away as she cried and shouted. Mama Gu also chased after Gu Xiling. At this time, Grandpa Gu said to Xing Kai earnestly, I shouldn't be the one to teach you how to educate a woman. However, you've spoiled Xiling too much. A woman shouldn't interfere in a man's matters. But, Xing Kai had never expected that the man in front of him would actually stand on his side instead of helping his granddaughter humiliate him. Your godfather is still very satisfied with you. He's not disappointed in you. So, study hard. One day, you'll be able to achieve what you want. Thank you, Grandpa. Now go back to your room and control your woman. Don't let her ruin any of your plans. Xing Kai's attitude towards this old man was a little strange. Gu Xiling was his biological granddaughter. No matter what, he did not lose Grandpa Gu's support. That meant that he was not in a desperate situation yet. Moreover, it was Grandpa who allowed him to teach Gu Xiling a lesson, wasn't it? Moreover, Grandpa was right. He shouldn't have accommodated Gu Xiling from the beginning. Chapter 740. After returning to the room, Xing Kai saw Gu Xiling sitting on the sofa and throwing a tantrum. Her eyes were glaring at him aggressively. Before Xing Kai could say anything, Gu Xiling threw the cosmetic bottle on the table at him. I don't have a husband like you. Xing Kai did not dodge. Blood flowed from his forehead. Then, he grabbed Gu Xiling's neck and said fiercely, You're already married. It's too late to regret it. If you humiliate and trample on me like this again in the future, I'll drag you down with me. Gu Xiling, try it if you don't believe me. Gu Xiling was so frightened by Xing Kai that she did not dare to move. Although they usually quarreled, Xing Kai's gaze had never been so ferocious. It was frightening. It was as if she continued to quarrel, Xing Kai would really break her neck. Xing Kai saw that she was not resisting, so he let go of her hand. He stood up and said to her, What you should be thinking about now is how to get pregnant and stabilize your position in front of grandfather. If there's a next time and the plan still fails, I'll drag you to hell with me. You can't give birth at all. How can I get pregnant? Then think of a way. Gu Xiling sat on the sofa and burst into tears. She had never thought that one day her life would be so miserable and that she would be hurt so badly by a man. However, in Mu Qiqi's opinion, Xing Kai and Gu Xiling were already twisted enough. How could they hope to live a normal life? That was strange. The midnight movie had just ended. At 1:30 a.m., Xing Bowen brought Ren Yufei out of the cinema. At this moment, there were no people on the streets. Xing Bowen took Ren Yufei for a walk home. After all, it was only 10 minutes away from Ren Yufei's apartment. It's been many years since I've watched a movie like this. On the way back, Xing Bowen held Ren Yufei's hand and said, I still remember the last time I watched a movie was when I first arrived in America. Isn't young master's life beautiful? Grandfather used to be very mean to everyone, even eighth brother. So, the brothers actually didn't have a happy childhood in the Xing family. Eighth brother had it the hardest at that time. Because of his existence, the other brothers had the opportunity to go abroad to manage the branch company, Xing Bowen explained. Xing Bowen explained. Grandpa has high standards for everyone, so our lives are really boring. Therefore, it's even more impossible for you to understand the joy we had when we were kids, barefoot on the street. The two of them were like old friends who had been talking to each other for many years. Soon, the two of them arrived at Ren Yufei's apartment. At that moment, Xing Bowen wished that his car had been stolen and that it would not appear in front of him. I'm home. It's too late, you should go home and rest. Ren Yufei did not see through Xing Bowen's intentions. He should have had enough of her in the cinema today. A man who was almost 30 years old had his first awakening of love and had already used all kinds of ways to act shamelessly. Xing Bowen did not say anything. Seeing that Ren Yufei was about to walk to the entrance of the corridor, he suddenly had the courage to go forward and grab Ren Yufei's wrist. He asked her, Tonight, can I stay? After Ren Yufei heard this, her heart began to beat faster. She was completely stunned on the spot. Seeing that she did not respond, Xing Bowen carried her in his arms and quickly walked up the apartment building. Then, like a child, he entered Ren Yufei's room. In fact, he was also very nervous, but he always felt that during this period of time with Ren Yufei, he had already developed a deep dependence and desire for her. He really wanted to have her, from body to heart. After entering, the atmosphere was a little awkward because Ren Yufei did not know what would happen next. The bed in her room was small to begin with. As she thought about it, Ren Yufei's face turned even redder. However, Xing Bowen did not let her escape. He sat on Ren Yufei's small bed and said to her, "Yufei, come over here." Ren Yufei was a little hesitant, but she could not control her footsteps. When she got closer, Xing Bowen directly pulled her onto his legs and kissed her like a storm. Ren Yufei was a little uncomfortable at first because he was using too much force. However, when she thought that this was the feeling in the depths of his heart, Ren Yufei no longer had any burdens and could not help but respond. The fiery entanglement turned into an intense tumble. Their consciousness gradually faded away, and all that was left was their infatuation for each other. After spring, they wore less clothes, so it was exceptionally convenient to take them off. When Ren Yufei regained consciousness, she saw Xing Bowen's bronze-colored chest and abdominal muscles. She did not dare to go any further. Xing Bowen grabbed her hand and placed it on his waist. He encouraged her. "Yufei, other than when I was young, you're the first woman who has been looked at like this by my mother without any restraints." Ren Yufei remembered that there seemed to be such a thing. This man and Hu Ran had been married for so long, but the two of them had not had sex. So, she was really his first woman. "I want you. I want you now, but I also know that you still have concerns in your heart. If you say that you still have to think about it, then we'll stop. I'll continue to endure it, but if you're like me, eager to get each other, then don't talk so much." Ren Yufei turned her face away in embarrassment and said such a suggestive sentence. Xing Bowen was overjoyed. He no longer had to control his feelings and desires. It was just that this was the first time for both of them, so the process was not so smooth. However, it was also the most primitive impulse that made the two of them even more inseparable and unable to control themselves. In the midst of their passion, Xing Bowen did not forget to ask Ren Yufei, "Yufei, are you afraid of getting pregnant? If you don't want to have a child so early, then I will also stop." Xing Bowen was almost 30 years old, and she was not young anymore. Moreover, she liked children very much, so she did not reject having a new life coming into this world at all. However, being pregnant before marriage. Would it be a little unpleasant to hear about it? If you're worried about the status, then we'll go and register tomorrow. Don't you need to ask Grandpa? Grandpa asked me to marry you as soon as possible, Xing Bowen whispered into Ren Yufei's ear. Ren Yufei trembled uncontrollably because that was her sensitive area. "Forget it. We'll have children when we're both prepared." After saying that, Xing Bowen resisted the urge to continue and got up to go to the bathroom. Although Ren Yufei's body was empty, her heart was full. There was actually a man in this world who could stop in the process of love for a woman. Chapter 741. After thinking about it, Ren Yufei mustered up her courage and followed him into the bathroom. While the man was taking a shower, she hugged him. "I don't regret it." "Huh?" Xing Bowen's voice was hoarse and unbearable. The desire that he had just suppressed came out again. "We'll let nature take its course. If we get pregnant, we'll give birth. Even if you don't acknowledge him, I'll raise the child alone." After Xing Bowen heard this, he turned around and held Ren Yufei's cheek seriously. He said, "I won't allow you to have such thoughts. The child belongs to both of us. I won't let you suffer alone. I'll definitely work hard to give you the best life." Ren Yufei also looked at Xing Bowen with a burning gaze. Their feelings were so strong, so what was there to restrain? So, the two of them kissed again, and it spread from the bathroom all the way to the bedroom. This time, Xing Bowen did not stop. That night, the two of them tasted each other and went crazy for each other. By the time they stopped, the sky was already turning blue. Xing Bowen curled up on Ren Yufei's small bed, not daring to move because Ren Yufei was lying in his arms. Seeing this woman so tired from being tormented by him, a strong sense of guilt rose in Xing Bowen's heart. Therefore, he planned to immediately mention the matter of the two of them getting married when he got home. However, old Master Sheng was not stupid at all. His grandson had not been home for the whole night. Although he was old, he could still guess what was going on. Especially when he saw Xing Bowen's radiant and energetic face entering the Xing family's living room, he was even more certain that this old virgin had finally confessed. "Grandpa, you're going to get married, aren't you?" Old Master Sheng sat in the living room and said very clearly. You didn't come back all night. Do you think your grandfather is as stupid as you?" Old Master Sheng snorted. "Since it's already like this, hurry up and register. Do you need me to teach you? Don't wait for Xiao Ren to get pregnant before reporting to me. Otherwise, I'll really beat you to death." "Grandpa, I never dared to think that I could find a woman I like," Xing Bowen said with emotion. If you're touched, don't say it. After you're done, hurry back to work." Because speaking of this matter, Grandpa Xing felt extremely guilty. If it wasn't for his stubbornness in the past, he wouldn't have nearly ruined his grandchildren's happiness. Luckily, he could make up for it now. "By the way, you have to take care of little Ren's family." "I understand." Xing Bowen took his ID and called Ren Yufei. The president and special assistant of Huang Yao were absent from work today in order to complete their marriage. She slept until noon. When she woke up, Xing Bowen was sitting in the living room. "Hurry up and freshen up. After dinner, we'll go register. I've already talked to the Civil Affairs Bureau." "Actually, I'm not that anxious," Ren Yufei said. "You're not anxious, but I am. By the way, your parents, should we, no need." Ren Yufei only used 2 words to interrupt Xing Bowen. "Marriage itself is my own business. I just want to live a good life." Xing Bowen nodded and quickly looked away from Ren Yufei because he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to control himself again. Men who had started their relationship were all like this. They couldn't be flirted with. Soon, the two of them went out together. Xing Bowen drove Ren Yufei directly to the Civil Affairs Bureau. There was already someone waiting for them there. The procedure was very simple. It was just a matter of signing and stamping. A few minutes later, the wedding photos of the two of them came out. Then, they stamped and got their marriage certificate. From then on, their relationship as husband and wife was established. After getting the red booklet, Xing Bowen held Ren Yufei's hand and said, "Today's marriage registration. Everything is too hasty, but I will definitely give you a grand wedding. Trust me. There's no hurry." Ren Yufei smiled and said, "Since I've already decided to marry you, I don't care about those ceremonies. But I care. I didn't marry you to make you sacrifice yourself for me." "I understand." Ren Yufei tiptoed and kissed Xing Bowen gently on the cheek. Xing Bowen was satisfied and left with his men. "In principle, I'm not afraid of anyone knowing about our registration. But if you feel that it's inconvenient, you can hide it from the company for now and wait for the right time to make it public. However, there's one thing. You have to move to the Xing family. The apartment you're living in now is too small. I slept very poorly last night." After hearing this, Ren Yufei couldn't help but laugh. "I'll listen to your arrangements. Don't worry. The people in the Xing family are easy to get along with. I'll also find a time to arrange for you to meet my parents." Ren Yufei listened silently, enjoying this man's anxiety and nervousness with joy. She was married, and this man belonged to her. She had never dreamed that such a day would come. "I really want to tell the world now." Mu Qiqi was the first in the world. Xing Bowen didn't have many friends. The only people who could share such good news without any scruples were Xing Xiao and his wife. From the phone, Mu Qiqi could hear Xing Bowen's excitement because he could finally be with the person he liked. "Third brother, although you're very happy now, I have a few words that I have to tell you because I think no one else will tell you this other than me." "Go ahead." Xing Bowen suddenly became nervous. Secretary Ren has no power or influence. She comes from an ordinary family. She'll definitely feel inferior and insecure when she suddenly marries into a rich family. So, don't just be happy. You have to give her enough confidence and security. Cinderella has entered a rich family. The outside world will have a lot of opinions about her. Don't be careless. You have to care about her psychological state at all times. Finally, protect her. She's your wife now, the person you should protect the most. Don't talk about it. In addition to protecting her physical safety, you have to protect her heart. After Xingboan heard this, he smiled. You're usually so carefree. I didn't expect you to nag me about this. Don't take my kindness for granted. Don't think that you've truly completed your life's major event after marrying Secretary Ren. Your life has just begun, and the challenges have just begun. You're a married person after all. You have a lot of experience. Xingboan couldn't help but tease Mu Qiqi. Don't worry. Even if you don't say it, there's still a model 8th brother there. No matter what, I can't do worse than him. You can't compare to him. Humph. After saying that, Mu Qiqi hung up. Chapter 742. After the two of them finished registering, they returned to the company. However, in the eyes of the employees, Xingboan seemed to be in a particularly good mood today. Didn't you see the president's happy face today? Secretary Ren only came to work in the afternoon. What did the two of them do? The people below began to gossip. They're a couple. What do they do? It's none of our business. I heard that the president brought Secretary Ren to meet the chairman yesterday. Doesn't that mean that they've met his parents? Secretary Ren has always worked hard with the president, so I think the two of them are a good match. But Secretary Ren's family doesn't seem to be very good. Who cares about her? As long as it's true love. The group of people made a ruckus. They couldn't wait to dig out everything about the rich and powerful. Fortunately, although some people didn't think highly of Ren Yufei's family background, no one denied her as a person. At least, everyone in Huangyao recognized her contributions. It wasn't that Xingboan didn't hear the news. He also thought about Mu Qiqi's reminder to him at noon. If he really wanted to protect Ren Yufei, he had to completely protect her from the bottom of his heart. Therefore, using the excuse of Huangyao's tribulation, Xingboan proposed to organize employee benefits at the meeting and let Ren Yufei take the credit. He wanted everyone to know that Ren Yufei had a great impact on him. However, this made Ren Yufei feel strange. She had just gone out to do something, but when she came back, she heard her colleagues thanking her. Thus, Ren Yufei knocked on the door and went to the president's office. What's going on? Everyone is thanking me. I just want them to know that I listened to you and put you in my heart. After Xingboan said that, he instructed Ren Yufei, get off work early today. I'll accompany you home to pack your things. You're moving to the Xing family. Do you remember? Ren Yufei nodded. In the future, you have to discuss this kind of thing with me. Otherwise, I won't know anything and it'll be very awkward. Okay, Mrs. Sheng. Xingboan had suddenly gone from a dull student with zero foundation to a master of flirting. This really confirmed the saying that it was all because there was someone you liked, so everything became self-taught. In front of the person you like, you will be positive, you will become soft, romantic, and more able to understand feelings. Xingboan felt that his bitterness was finally over and the sweetness had come. Mu Qiqi and Tang Yan should have gone to congratulate Xingboan when he got married. However, the forensics lab was short of hands, and Mu Qiqi was called back as an assistant. Of course, for Mu Qiqi's safety, Tang Yan and Xing Shao only allowed her to go once. Tang Yan was in the process of handing over the batch of diacetyl morphine that appeared in Huangyao to the Drug Enforcement Administration. Because he was not in this field now, he still had to leave the professional things to the professionals. The only one left in the Jianchuan branch was the mole in Huangyao. Because it involved a major case, the bureau approved the interrogation. However, the man sat in the interrogation room for an entire day, unwilling to confess anything of value. Captain Tang, this man insists that he doesn't know anything. He found it by chance and suspected that it was diacetyl morphine, so he immediately called the police. He refused to admit that he deliberately framed Huang Yao and claimed that he wasn't instructed by anyone. After an entire day of interrogation, Officer Long handed Tang Yen a blank paper. Have you checked his account, social media, call records, and 18 generations of his ancestors? Tang Yen asked. These won't come out so soon. I've already gone to the bank to retrieve his account information. Everything is normal. Then use some tricks, Tang Yen said. Tang Yen said. Everyone knew that it was Xing Kai who did it, but where did Xing Kai get the goods from? How did he send them to Huang Yao through a small merchant? Don't give up on this clue. Keep following him. Hasn't the case been transferred? I told you to keep following him, so keep following him. This was because he always believed that if there was really that circle in Jianchuan, then Third Master Long must have played an important role in it. And now, Qing Bin, that dangerous person, was under Third Master Long. He had to figure out the ins and outs of this matter. When Mu Qiqi heard the results of the interrogation, she also came out of the autopsy room and told Tang Yen in private, I suggest that we follow Xing Kai because Third Master Long knows that Xing Kai is using him. He's anxious and wants revenge. If we follow Xing Kai, we might be able to find something. This matter has nothing to do with Huang Yao or the Xing family. From today onwards, you and Shanshan don't get involved anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Understood. This was because Tang Yen and Xing Xiao were both doing this for their safety. If the gang that had made Tang Yen suffer so much years ago were to make a comeback, it would not be a joke. She cherished her life, she would not get involved casually. In a day or two, I'll be going on a business trip again. Please take care of Shanshan. Don't worry, Captain Tang. Mu Qiqi understood what Tang Yen meant. She was not afraid of anything else, but Qing Bin's matter made Tang Yen very afraid. He was afraid that Qing Bin would take advantage of his absence to attack Feng Shanshan. Although Tang Yen did not say it explicitly, from his tone, Mu Qiqi could tell that this man seemed to have seen through life. Nothing could affect him anymore, but Mu Qiqi felt that Feng Shanshan's importance would definitely surpass his own life. Heartless people were often the most affectionate. Of course, Tang Yen also took her suggestion seriously. Following Xing Kai was indeed a way. Not only could he investigate Xing Kai, but he could also monitor Third Master Long. It was just that he had already handed over this matter, so he could not do it openly. Or rather, he could directly tell this suggestion to the people in the narcotics department. But he himself also needed a reliable informant, because it concerned his and Feng Shanshan's lives, so he could not be careless. Actually, if it were not for this, Mu Qiqi really wanted to see how Third Master Long would cause trouble for Xing Kai. This was also worth looking forward to, wasn't it? Qiqi, what are you doing? Come and help me. The professor's back hurt. The other forensic doctors were out in the field, so he called Mu Qiqi over to help the professor. Xing Kai knew that he had to deal with the aftermath of these two matters. So, after dealing with Gu Xiling, he called his godfather and made an appointment for dinner. At this time, only his godfather could save his life. Chapter 743. Xing Kai's godfather's surname was Jin, and his name was Bo. Although he was his godfather in name, Xing Kai had only seen him a few times. It was not easy for his godfather to give him the honor of eating. Xing Kai was very attentive, but this godfather had a kind face and never put on airs. He was always kind and pleasant to Xing Kai. I know you don't like exaggerated things, so I brought you here, Kai. You have to remember that if you want to keep your position for a long time, you have to understand one thing. Keeping a low profile and being inconspicuous is the best protection. As Jin Bo drank his tea, he said to him earnestly, Tell me, what do you want me to help you with this time? Last time, the matter with the Xing family failed. Now the police are investigating me, and Third Master Long also wants to deal with me. So, I came to seek protection from you, Godfather. Xingkai poured tea for Jin Bo and said humbly, I can't hold my head up in front of my wife's family. I can't be a good person. I see. Jin Bo was deep in thought. You don't have to worry about the police, but Third Master Long might make you suffer a little. Bring some gifts and personally apologize. We're all friends, right? There's no need to make a big fuss. Xingkai understood what Jin Bo meant and immediately thanked him. Thank you for your guidance, Godfather. You still have a lot to learn. There's no rush. Take your time. Xingkai smiled apologetically and ate with the old man attentively. He guessed that his aptitude was very mediocre to Jin Bo, but his godfather was willing to spend time and energy on teaching him. This meant that he might have other uses for Jin Bo, but even he did not know this use. No matter what, he had to solve the current desperate situation first. As for your wife, a man has a career, so he can naturally conquer a woman. It's been like this since ancient times. Don't worry. Since you've acknowledged me as your godfather, I will definitely not mistreat you. Take out your shares in Huang Yao and I'll teach you how to make other investments. Then I'll thank you, godfather. After hearing Jin Bo's words, Xingkai felt at ease. Of course, he would also do as Jin Bo said and personally visit Third Master Long to deal with the matter. He had messed up dealing with the Xing family. If he did not know how to deal with the aftermath, then he would really be useless. After eating with Jin Bo, it was already around 11 o'clock at night when he returned home. Gu Xiling saw that he reeked of alcohol and questioned him. You still dare to go out to drink and fool around in your current state? Do you think that Grandpa will unconditionally indulge you? Xingkai did not say anything. He dragged her out of the room and locked her outside the door. Gu Xiling was infuriated. She knocked on the door so hard that even Mama Gu and Grandpa Gu came over. What now? Grandpa Gu asked Gu Xiling. Grandpa, look at this scumbag. He locked me outside the door and didn't let me in. Not only did he go out to drink and fool around, but he also treated your grandson like this. Before Gu Xiling could cry out, Grandpa Gu slapped her in the face, leaving her dumbfounded. Can you stop looking for trouble every day? Can you act like a rich young lady? Do you know that your husband went out to see Godfather? You're so annoying every day. Even if you're not tired, I'm tired for you. Gu Xiling, if you don't want to live a good life, you can leave this house. I won't stop you. If you continue to shout at home, you can get lost. Gu Xiling was dumbfounded by her grandfather's words. She covered her face and did not dare to say another word. You don't know what's good for you. Then, Grandpa Gu pulled Mama Gu away and returned to their respective rooms. Gu Xiling could only stare at her bedroom door with hatred. Xingkai, you're good. No one can humiliate me, Gu Xiling. Don't you want a child? Fine, I'll make you a cuckold, and you're even raising a child for someone else. Of course, Gu Xiling had always liked strong men the most. She was unwilling to get pregnant with any one of them. A strong man should be like this. In her heart, there was only Xing Shao. But Xing Shao would never have anything to do with her. Don't even dream about it. Mu Qiqi borrowed it from the forensics department for a day. Actually, this was not a complicated case. The deceased was a 23-year-old woman who had just graduated from an ordinary university. She worked in an accounting company from 9 to 5 every day and had a regular boyfriend. The cause of death was poison. Because she had just broken up with her boyfriend, she had been dead for more than 10 days. She died in her bed at home. In addition to the suicide note and the fact that there were no fingerprints in the room, this matter was naturally classified as a suicide. However, the professor had borrowed her, which meant that the professor still had doubts about this matter. Mu Qiqi and the professor carefully examined the body together. After that, Mu Qiqi and Officer Long went to the scene. There are so many of us. We've looked at the scene over and over again, but we didn't find anything suspicious. I don't believe that the branch office can't do without Xiaoqi. Senior brother Long was a little unconvinced. It's not that the branch office can't do without me, but you guys are really too careless. Captain Tang isn't here, and the professor can't bear to see you guys like this. Mu Chichi smiled and explained, it's almost 12 o'clock, and I'm still here with you guys. I haven't even complained, and you guys are complaining. Then did you find anything? Do you know why the professor called me over? Because he found out something from the deceased. The day before she committed suicide, she had gone to get her nails done. Did she want to die beautifully? If that's the case, why didn't she put on makeup before she took the poison? Mu Chichi explained to Officer Long. Second, I found on the deceased's computer that she had searched for a travel guide to Saipan before she died. Third, as you said, she had a boyfriend, but when the forensic doctor came to investigate, he found that the room was clean. Even the deceased's fingerprints were almost erased. Don't you think it's strange? So, it's not that I have any special abilities, but that you guys are really careless. Mu Chichi patted Senior Brother Long's shoulder helplessly. Senior Brother Long was stunned for a moment. He really couldn't find anything to refute. So, according to you and the professor, this matter isn't a suicide? The professor and I came to that conclusion after analyzing it, but after Captain Tang saw the scene, he called me over. Isn't he even scarier? You mean that Captain Tang also thinks that this case isn't simple? Mu Chichi chuckled. It was probably because Tang Yan's experience in handling cases was already rich enough. Chapter 744. The reason why Tang Yan called Mu Chichi over was naturally because he realized that things were not simple. As for how it was not simple and who was involved, these were the future direction of the Special Investigations team. Otherwise, Tang Yan would have concluded this case a long time ago. Why would he go through so much trouble? Mu Chichi left the deceased's apartment and saw Xing Zhao's car waiting downstairs. Mu Chichi took off her smelly coat and drove to the door. She saw Xing Zhao holding the documents in his hand. Among the documents was the set of bookmarks she had given him. However, this bookmark looked smoother than when she made it. Moreover, it was sealed with plastic. Is this the set of bookmarks I gave you? Xing Zhao closed the documents and clipped the bookmarks. I've already given it to you. It has nothing to do with you. Mu Chichi pouted and could not help but sigh. Stingy. At most, I'll make another set for myself. Don't you dare. Xing Zhao threw a clean towel on her head. There can only be one set of this. After hearing this, Mu Chichi could not help but smile. She raised her head and deliberately acted cute. So precious. All right, I won't make this. I'll make something else. Xing Zhao did not say anything else. He only instructed Su Che to drive immediately. Su Che smelled the strange smell on Mu Chichi's body. Just like Xing Zhao, he did not even frown now because he was used to it. After all, the corpse had been dead for more than 10 days. It was spring now. The stench must have seeped into her bones. Mu Chichi knew that, so when she returned home, she stayed in the bathroom for 2 whole hours. It was so long that Xing Zhao thought that she had fallen asleep in the bathtub, so he took her bathrobe and entered the house. You've been bathing for too long. Come out. Xing Zhao grabbed her arm and dragged her out of the water. Then, he wrapped her in the bathrobe. Mu Chichi's hands were wrinkled. She was a little helpless. It's only spring now. If it's summer, it'll be even scarier. Your car will be filled with my smell. Zhongting's biotechnology company is already speeding up the development of products to remove odors. The perfume I made for you previously will be kept everywhere in the future. Xing Zhao hugged her and sat on the sofa. He dried her hair for her and sniffed it when it was half dry. This imported shampoo is still very effective. Which girl doesn't want to smell good? Sigh. Muchichi felt that it was a pity. The worst thing about being a forensic doctor was this charming smell. But when I thought that the deceased had a lot of secrets to share, I felt that there was nothing to complain about. This is the mission of a forensic doctor. Muchichi leaned against his chest and tried to suck in his scent. You smell so good. After Xing Xiao heard that, he took the hairdryer and dried her hair. I'll let you smell as much as you want later. On the other hand, Tang Yen had just returned home. Muchichi was only a forensic assistant, but he had to take charge of the overall situation. Feng Shanshan made supper and heard about the investigation process from Tang Yen. Both he and Muchichi found something unusual about the deceased. However, the confession of the deceased's boyfriend matched the evidence. In other words, the boyfriend was not a suspect at all. In that case, there must be another reason for the deceased's suicide. Muchichi only found this part. When Tang Yen investigated the scene for the first time, he found a name card under the bed of the deceased. He didn't tell anyone. Instead, he asked Old Sheng to verify the other party's identity. He realized that it seemed difficult to investigate this matter further. Haven't we encountered this type of case before? We have to continue investigating from the deceased's social circle. He must have contacted someone else. Feng Shanshan leaned on the table and watched Tang Yen eat supper. Tang Yen did not say anything. When Feng Shanshan saw this, she immediately guessed. You have a clue, right? It's just that no one said anything. Why aren't you eating? Feng Shanshan looked at it in disdain and replied, It's precisely because I made it myself that I feel it's very greasy. It looks a little unbearable. Don't change the topic. Do you know something? Don't ask any more. I'll ask the chief tomorrow. After Tang Yen said that, he stood up and cleaned up the dishes. Feng Shanshan took a deep breath and did not ask further. However, she felt an uncomfortable feeling in her stomach. In the future, she would make something light. After eating supper, it was already 1:30 in the morning. The two of them lay on the bed. Feng Shanshan was already in a daze and was about to fall asleep. However, Tang Yen suddenly said to her, I'm going on a business trip again. Yes, I know, Feng Shanshan said. I saw you packing your luggage just now. I will come back safely. I'll try my best not to get hurt. Tang Yen hugged Feng Shanshan and promised seriously. You just have to focus on your classes and study hard. It won't happen. When I come back, I'll tutor you well. Don't be so smug. You won't. There's still the professor. I'm not so bad that I can't even find someone to ask me questions, Feng Shanshan said softly. When I'm not around, don't go out casually. If there's anything, discuss it with Muchichi. If you keep nagging, don't sleep. Feng Shanshan turned over and lay on Tang Yen's body, pressing her leg against a certain part of the man. Tang Yen did not hold back and took back his sovereignty. Anyway, he would leave at dawn, so he allowed them to be crazy all night. The next morning, Tang Yen got up, kissed Feng Shanshan's forehead, and left with his luggage. Although Feng Shanshan wanted to send him off, her entire body was sore and weak, so she could only lie down obediently. However, after sleeping for a whole day, she did not get better. In the evening, Feng Shanshan called Muchichi. Chi, come over when you're free. I'm not feeling well. Only then did Muchichi remember that Captain Tang was already on a business trip. So, after school, she immediately rushed to Feng Shanshan and Tang Yan's house. Feng Shanshan was lying on the bed, her face pale. Muchichi touched her forehead and found that she was having a fever. Then, she looked at the marks on her body and immediately understood. Did you go overboard last night? I have abdominal pain, Feng Shanshan said with difficulty. It's never happened before. The doctor is on the way. Bear with it a little longer. Muchichi boiled water for her and wiped her face. When the doctor arrived, she immediately stood to the side. Of course, in order to avoid suspicion, Mu Chichi found a female doctor. She squatted by the bed and observed Feng Shanshan for a while. Finally, she asked her, "When was the last time you had your period?" Feng Shanshan thought for a moment and shook her head. "I don't remember, but there's a record on my phone. I suggest you go to the hospital for a checkup. I suspect that she doesn't have a cold or a fever. She's pregnant." When the two of them heard this, their eyes widened. Especially Feng Shanshan, she immediately propped herself up from the bed. "No. That's possible." Chapter 745. Of course. Feng Shanshan was very sure at first, but when she said the second half of her sentence, she began to hesitate. Because there were a few times when she and Tang Yen were crazy, she wasn't sure if Tang Yen was wearing contraceptives. But when she thought about it seriously, Tang Yen was such a careful person. It was impossible for him to forget about it. "Get up," Mu Chichi said hatefully. "I'll take you to the hospital for a checkup now. I think the doctor might have misdiagnosed us. We have contraceptives. You were hesitating just now, but now you're sure?" Mu Chichi glared at her and found some clothes for her. "We'll know after the checkup." Seeing that Mu Chichi was like a long-winded old woman, Feng Shanshan had no choice but to get out of bed and get up. "It's only the first day Captain Tang left. Is this how you take care of yourself? He has to bear a lot of responsibility for my actions." Feng Shanshan rolled her eyes. That person knew that he was going to leave early this morning, so he let go last night. Therefore, all her discomfort was because of that man. Mu Chichi didn't want to talk nonsense with her, so she brought her to the hospital and planned to go to the obstetrics and gynecology department. Feng Shanshan felt that it was unlikely because she thought about it carefully. Tang Yen had contraceptives, but looking at her period records, she didn't have the confidence to reply to Mu Chichi. Because of her period, it was almost half a month late. "If you really have a child, what do you plan to do?" On the way to the hospital, Mu Chichi asked Feng Shanshan, who was leaning against her. "With your current situation and Captain Tang's situation, are you going to have a baby or not?" "Yes," Feng Shanshan answered firmly. "The child of the man I love. He didn't betray me or abandon me. Why shouldn't I have a baby? Moreover, the last abortion has already damaged my body. If I don't have a baby, I'm afraid that no baby will be willing to be reincarnated with me in the future. You're living a much crazier life than me now. If it were me, I wouldn't be able to say that." Mu Chichi still glared at her. "Maybe the situation isn't as bad as I think. We'll talk about it after the checkup. I still remember telling Tang Yen that no matter how hard he fought outside or how he abandoned me, I wouldn't complain. But I only hope that when I give birth, he can be by my side. I found a criminal police officer. I know what I have to face, and I know that what I have to face is different from others." Feng Shanshan replied calmly. She had already prepared herself thousands of times in her heart. She was very clear-headed. "Don't you think about yourself?" "Mu Chichi, if it were you today and Tang Yen was Xing Shao, it would be strange if you could still ask such a question. You would only do something even crazier than me." The two of them had been rivals for a long time, so they knew each other's thoughts very well. Mu Chichi did not say anything because she suddenly thought of Lu Qianqian. How could she have so many friends like that? Soon, Su Che sent them to the hospital. After paying for the checkup, Mu Chichi followed him into the ultrasound room. "Do you see that? The small dot in the middle is the pregnancy sac. Congratulations, you're pregnant." The doctor pointed at the floating image and told Feng Shanshan. Feng Shanshan was stunned for a moment, and so was Mu Chichi. "But your current condition is not very good. I suggest you do a comprehensive checkup to ensure the health of the mother and the fetus." The doctor handed the results to Mu Chichi and gave her family a suggestion. Even now, Feng Shanshan felt that her body was light and did not feel real at all. This was a completely different feeling from before. This time, she was pleasantly surprised and happy because the child in her stomach was Tang Yan's child, the crystallization of her and Tang Yan. When she came out of the ultrasound room, Mu Qiqi saw Feng Shanshan smiling and knew what she was thinking. However, as her mother's family, Mu Qiqi also felt that this was a happy event. However, she was more worried about Feng Shanshan. She was not like Xing Boan and Ren Yufei, who let nature take its course. That was what everyone wanted. Feng Shanshan had already lost her studies for Tang Yan. She was already in danger. Not only did she follow Tang Yan without a name, but she was also pregnant. Tang Yan also went on business trips every now and then. Even though she was living in the safest area in Jianchuan, there was no one by her side who could take care of and protect her. How much did she care about Tang Yan that she was willing to take such a huge risk to give birth to a new life? You're still laughing. Mu Qiqi was furious. Do you know your current situation? I can't cry. Feng Shanshan patted Mu Qiqi's shoulder to comfort her. Trust me. If it were you, you would do the same for Xing Xiao. Don't talk about me so easily. My man won't let me get pregnant in such a difficult environment. Mu Qiqi snorted. Now, let's go for a full-body checkup. If you want to be hospitalized, you have to stay in the hospital obediently. You're not allowed to go anywhere. Speaking of which, I'm really thankful for the money old Master Xing gave me. I don't have to worry about money now. You're still talking about it. If she wasn't pregnant, Mu Qiqi would have really hit her. In order to accompany Feng Shanshan for the checkup, Mu Qiqi specially applied for leave. Progesterone, genetic diseases, and she stayed in the hospital for the whole day. Of course, Tang Yan was on a business trip and was now isolated from the world. It didn't seem realistic to tell him immediately. Fortunately, you guys went too far last night and didn't hurt the child. But the doctor also said that you have to stay in the hospital for 3 days. Mu Qiqi, has anyone told you that you're really naggy? Feng Shanshan lay on the bed and couldn't help but laugh as she looked at Mu Qiqi's wrinkled face. Then who is it for? I transferred the 5th aunt who took care of me to take care of you. She's very good at taking care of your body. My problems in that area were all solved by her diet therapy. Mu Qiqi began to arrange Feng Shanshan's life. Before Captain Tang comes back, you're not allowed to go anywhere other than the hospital and home. If you really care about this child, be obedient. Okay, I'll listen. Feng Shanshan nodded seriously. This was not a joke. Seeing that she really liked the arrival of this child, Mu Qiqi was also discouraged. The anger in her heart couldn't be vented no matter what, so she said, with Captain Tang's situation, I don't expect him to take good care of you. But since you have a child, there are some things that have to be done. I'm not stupid. I won't not ask for help when I know it's dangerous or deliberately run into a knife. Don't worry, Feng Shanshan promised. Chapter 746. Seeing how nervous Mu Qiqi was, Feng Shanshan smiled. Although the two of them had always been enemies, in this world, even Tang Yan did not treat her as well as Mu Qiqi did. Say, why do you dote on an opponent so much? Feng Shanshan could not help but ask. If I were you, it would be so easy to just let it go. Stop being sarcastic. I'll make a call now. Lie down and rest. Mu Qiqi took out her phone and wanted to call 5th aunt. However, just as she got up, she was stopped by Feng Shanshan. So, she turned her head and heard Feng Shanshan's words. For the first 20 years, I've been living an absurd life. I thought that being alone and having fun was the best explanation for life. However, I met you and Tang Yan. You're a saint and a righteous person. You actually made me have the thought of becoming a Buddha. So, I've turned over a new leaf and had a new life. I don't have parents or other relatives. I've done many bad things, and in the end, I even suffered retribution. So, other than this child, I only have you two now. Today, I'm pregnant with Tang Yan's child. I don't regret it. If you're in danger in the future, I'll go through fire and water. This is also the truth. So, as long as it's for you, I'll do my best to protect you. So what if the situation is difficult? As long as I'm alive, nothing is a big deal. Do you think I'll be safe just because I took a step back and aborted the child? I just want to give myself and Tang Yan a home. After all, before he met me, he didn't have a home either. Mu Qiqi could not help but feel touched by Feng Shanshan's sudden words. She used to have nothing and she used to worry about gains and losses. However, as long as it was for Xingxiao, she could give up everything. Because they loved one person with all their heart. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. With a friend like me and a man like Captain Tang, what else do you want? With all the sins you've committed before, you should be content to have such a blessing. Mu Qiqi turned her head and snorted. I'll be back soon. Rest well. After leaving the ward, Mu Qiqi had a strong desire in her heart. She had to help Feng Shanshan keep the child. So, in order to ensure Feng Shanshan's safety, she would do anything. Soon, Fifth Aunt received the notice and was also willing to go to the hospital to take care of pregnant women. After all, that was her specialty. Not only that, but Mu Qiqi also arranged for bodyguards to protect Feng Shanshan before Tang Yan came back. Because of these trivial matters, Mu Qiqi was busy for the whole day. When she dragged her tired body home, Xingxiao hooked his finger at her. Mu Qiqi immediately leaned on Xingxiao and let out a long sigh of relief. It's all thanks to my husband's diligence that I have so much money to spend. That's why I can get things done so easily. Husband, you've worked hard. Xingxiao looked down at her little head. He did not know what she was thinking. Do you have something to ask of me? You should know that Feng Shanshan is pregnant. I want to ask if Zhongting has the relevant department to develop a positioning system. I want to get a set for her to monitor her safety. That's just a small matter, Xingxiao replied. There's no need for a separate research and development department. Why are you so easy to talk to today? Usually, if I care about Feng Shanshan for even a second, you'll pull a long face. But you didn't today. Have you changed? Xingxiao and Tang Yan had an agreement to help take care of each other's women. Therefore, he naturally had to spare no effort in protecting Feng Shanshan. Otherwise, how could Feng Shanshan give Fifth Aunt whenever she wanted and a bodyguard whenever she wanted? I'll let Su Che handle this matter. Is there anything else? Not for the time being. Also, I'm very envious of her. Mu Qiqi leaned on Xingxiao and whispered the latter half of her sentence. I'm extremely envious that she can give birth to a child for the man she loves. Don't you know that giving birth is very painful? Xingxiao stroked her hair and asked. Of course I know, but I'm also envious. I don't know how long I have to wait before I can give birth to a baby for you. Mu Qiqi propped herself up and looked at Xingxiao regretfully. I can't let you be a father when you're almost 30, right? What did you say? Xingxiao immediately pinched Mu Qiqi's cheek and asked. I didn't mean to say that you're old. Xingxiao pinched her even harder when he heard that. Let go. I really want to give birth to a child for you. I want to see you be a father. There'll be plenty of chances in the future. There's plenty of time in the future. Xingxiao let go and let Mu Qiqi lie down again. We'll talk about this in the future. We'll talk about it in the future. Xingxiao looked at her indignant head and smiled helplessly. Giving birth to a child and giving birth to a new life required a lot of responsibility and energy. She could still enjoy her freedom and her own time now, but she still didn't know how to be content. To a man, it was just a matter of sperm, but he had to torture his woman for so long. He felt afraid when he thought about it. Xingxiao, who clearly did not care about anyone and did not care about any danger, was very careful when it came to Mu Qiqi. In fact, his wish was very simple. He wanted Muchichi to be healthy and stay by his side for a long time. This was the difference between a man and a woman. Women could give very little to men. The only way they could prove that they loved this man was to be willing to give birth to a child for him. At least, Feng Shanshan was like this, and so was Muchichi. In the evening, at Third Master Long's manor, Xing Kai came with a gift. From the looks of it, he was planning to ask for forgiveness. When Third Master Long heard that it was Xing Kai, he sneered. I didn't go look for him, but he came knocking on my door first. Therefore, he signaled with his eyes for Qingbin to go and investigate first. Originally, he had planned to leave this matter to Qingbin. Qingbin knew that if he wanted a chance to take revenge, he had to rely on Third Master Long. Therefore, he obeyed his orders and put away his respect in front of Third Master Long. He walked out of Third Master Long's manor fiercely. When Xing Kai saw him appear, he wanted to go forward and greet him, but Qingbin kicked him to the ground. You still have the face to come? It's a misunderstanding. This is all a misunderstanding. I came here today to ask for forgiveness. I also brought a small gift. I hope Third Master Long won't hold a grudge. Xing Kai sat on the ground and quickly explained while asking his follower to open the box. When Qingbin saw so much cash, he hesitated for a moment before returning to the manor to ask for instructions. Chapter 747. Since you're here to make peace, then let's meet. After all, you can go against anyone but money. Third Master Long wiped his hands as he answered Qingbin. These young masters of the Xing family are really interesting. Qingbin looked at Third Master Long and did not say anything. Because he saw Third Master Long's undisguised love for power and benefits. Then, Xing Kai entered the manor. As expected, he brought a whole box of good things and offered them to Third Master Long. Third Master Long was shocked by this incident, so I specially came here to apologize to you. I hope that you won't hold a grudge against me. Third Master Long glanced at Xing Kai and laughed mockingly. You and your other two brothers are really different. Xing Xiao, let's not talk about it for now. Second young master actually let the idiotic third young master ride on his head. It's really unbelievable. To tell you the truth, my third brother isn't stupid at all. He and eighth brother were just acting to cause you to misunderstand me, Xing Kai quickly explained. After Third Master Long heard this, he laughed again. You brothers are indeed a headache. However, since you came today, I can let bygones be bygones. However, in the future, I hope that second young master can understand what it means to mind your own business. No, Third Master, I'm not here today just to apologize. I hope to cooperate with you. Second young master, you must be joking. Why should I offend Zhongding for you? Third Master Long did not think much of it. Third Master needs protection, don't you? As long as you cooperate with me, I guarantee that what you're doing now will only be smoother than before because there's someone behind me. At this point, Xing Kai whispered a name into Third Master Long's ear. Third Master Long fell silent when he heard this. What do you want? I want the Xing family to be destroyed. Xing Kai directly stated his goal. Of course, revenge is only secondary. My ultimate goal is to establish a chain of common interests. Wait for me to think about it. I'll give you a reply. Third Master Long needed to think carefully. After all, Xing Kai's offer was very tempting, but he had broken his oath not to interfere in other people's family affairs. He did not like to get involved in the grudges of rich families. I'm not in a hurry. Please accept my gift, Third Master. I'll take my leave first, Qingbin, send the second young master off, Third Master Long instructed. Qingbin nodded and escorted Xing Kai out of Third Master Long's manor. At this time, Xing Kai said to Qingbin, I know you bear hatred, but Third Master Long is old and cunning. If you want a chance to take revenge, you can come to me. Young people will always have more common topics to talk about. What do you think? Xing Bin was stunned. It seemed that Xing Kai had put in a lot of effort to come here. Moreover, he was right. Third Master Long kept avoiding the matter of avenging him. If he waited any longer, Tang Yen would be promoted again. This is my business card. Let's have a drink sometime. Xing Kai left the things behind and turned to open the door of his car. Xing Bin looked at the business card and was indeed tempted. Xing Kai was here to fish, not only for Third Master Long, the white shark, but also for Xing Bin, the piranha. After all, he needed to quickly build his own faction and make the Xing family see him in a different light. Late at night, at the Xing family home. For the past few days, Xing Bowen had been holding Ren Yufei's hand and entering the house. It was as if he was afraid that others would not know that he already had a new wife, and they were very loving. This was really disliked by old Master Sheng. Can you restrain yourself when you're home? There are other people at home. Grandpa, we're newlyweds. You have to understand me. Xing Bowen raised his and Ren Yufei's hands and said, we've had dinner outside. You don't have to call us later. Old Master Xing rolled his eyes at him and continued to play chess with sixth brother. Ren Yufei felt that she had not done anything filial for old Master Xing since she moved in, so she felt a little guilty. So, once she returned to her room, she said to Xing Bowen, should I do something for my family too? Xing Bowen nodded. Xing Bowen held her hand again and shook his head. Do you know why I've been sticking to you like this for the past few days? Ren Yufei shook her head. Because you're the young mistress of the Xing family. I want everyone in the Xing family to respect you and know your identity. It's good that you want to do something for your family. But even if you don't do anything, no one will blame you. Ren Yufei thought that he was just sticky and full of lust. She did not expect him to have such considerations. He was afraid that she would be bullied as soon as she entered the Xing family. I think everyone is fine. I'm also willing to integrate into this family. That's because you haven't seen Xiao Qi when she first came to the Xing family. The current Xing family has already been trained by the couple, especially Grandpa. No matter what, as your husband, in order to protect my wife, there are some things I have to do. Ren Yufei was touched when she heard this. I really don't regret marrying you. I won't give you a chance to regret it. After saying that, Xing Bowen's kiss came quickly. He did not give Ren Yufei any time to react. She knew that it would end up like this. This man had really been unrestrained in the past few days. However, she was willing to cooperate because she also longed for this man. So, soon, the two of them fell on the bed. Once they took off, it was out of control. If Mu Chichi knew that Xing Bowen was so hungry after eating, she would definitely laugh her head off. After all, he would always talk about being in a mess. Just as the two of them were in high spirits, Xing Bowen's phone rang in his ear. Xing Bowen looked at the caller ID and threw his phone away. However, Ren Yufei took it back. Answer it. Chi-Chi is looking for you. There must be something urgent. Xing Bowen felt like killing someone at this moment. He could only lie down and pick up the phone. What's the matter? Mu Chichi wanted to ask if she wanted to prepare a set for Ren Yufei since she was making jewelry with a GPS system. However, she heard Xing Bowen's magnetic voice. Mu Chichi immediately smiled. Did I disturb you and Secretary Ren? If you know, hurry up and hang up. Xing Bowen couldn't take it anymore, and his tone was very sad. Alright then, you guys continue. We'll talk tomorrow. Xing Bowen put down his phone and looked at Ren Yufei pitifully. Next time, I'll find this time to call them. Why are you so stingy? We can continue. Ren Yufei was under him. Her face was crimson, and she looked very alluring. Mu Chichi never expected that Xing Bowen would look like that after getting rid of the old virgin. She found it extremely funny. Xing Xiao saw that she was overjoyed and picked her up from the sofa. You need a little punishment. Why? Mu Chichi's eyes widened. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.